see I changed up the track on that. You can do all sorts of shit on this now. Welcome, everybody. It used to go and I changed it to a more welcoming environment, such as we are here in the Phantom Zone. Welcome, everybody.
I did the same thing, but I edited it and just imported it as a new clip. It's very easy.
Okay, don't downplay my awesome prowess with the tech. Anybody who knows
awesome prowess? Like what?
What are you welcome, everybody, to we are doing the definitive after our Cobra Kai review, which thank you guys for the views. We got a lot for that video. We decided to do a definitive tier list on all of the Karate Kid franchise. So we're going to be doing the movies and Cobra Kai finalized tier list to really put a bow and wrap this thing up, this long journey we've been on. We felt like it wasn't good enough to just end with our critiques. We wanted to just kind of finalize our entire journey, the epic scope we've been on with Cobra Kai. And it's been quite a road. Hello, Carmen, good to see you. Hello, Janie Davis, good to see you. Just before
technically, it's not over yet.
No, I'm just saying. Let me get some before we jump into this tier list. Let me get your thoughts. For the most part, our Cobra Kai journey has come to an end. It's not saying our Karate Kid journey necessarily is over with. We're hoping. Here's to hoping they don't fuck it up. I still have high hopes, but for the most part, the show we love to talk about. Honestly, what brought us together is finally over, man. Have you still it was last week we did the video. Like, I still have a hard time processing that we're really at the end, and it was a satisfying ending. It's like, this is it. Mm-hmm. Our journey, all these years we've covered that we've known each other, what it all meant, it came to an end, and we were actually satisfied. How many shows or movies have we talked about over the years where we're like, yeah, that wasn't even fucking worth it? And here we are. We had a full, great experience, great streams, things we remember, fond memories. I mean, does it still feel real to you? Because I'm kind of feeling like I'm just waiting for the next season, but we're not getting another season. I just don't want to feel like the ride's over. Like, that's the hard part about endings.
That's sort of a weird thing that I've really been thinking about, because like one of my earlier YouTube videos that really hit was like the Cobra Kai stream that we did.
I comb my hair
with Mary Mayhem was recommended on the season 2 finale when it was on YouTube Red. The recommended feed, like on another account, I found out that my video was like if you scrolled like just a little bit, like it was in that algorithm. Like, holy shit. And it wasn't,
we were right up there, man. Like, I didn't do my own videos because I knew I was going to be on with you. This is the first, I think the last 2 seasons were the first time I hosted the talk. You have done this 1 through what? 4, 5? I think I did 5 and 6. I did the last 2 seasons. You did the first.
We did 2. I didn't really have a channel in the first season. I was barely discovering other people. Like, I had the inklings of wanting to do something, but didn't fully commit yet until the end of the year with the proper Jeremy shit. But when Cobra Kai came out, that was right after I had discovered Geeks and Gamers. That was right after the Last Jedi bullshit.
And there was so much stuff going on.
Yeah, and discovering all these YouTube channels, and all of them have blown up. And ever since then, some of them have had babies. Some of them have gotten married to each other.
Some have gotten engaged. Apparently got more white hair, because JD Davis says the beard is still there. It's just white, so it's hard to see with my white light. Yes. So I had black hair when we started, Justin, and now I have a white sheen down here. Remember, this used to all be jet black. Even Justin remembers that.
I don't recall any of that.
I know you do, you lying son of a.
No. What I remember is you either clean shaven or you were an avatar.
Fair enough.
For all we know, it was there the whole time.
JD Davis says at General Zod's Phantom Zone, Wheelchair Miguel is the best Miguel. That's all I know about the series, and that's all you need to know.
That
honestly,
is
if you take nothing from our reviews.
100% true. That is 100% true. Wheelchair Miguel was actually the best Miguel.
So
no,
this is a bit, yeah, and that was, I remember that was your icon, and we were laughing about that. This has been a long journey, and we felt, what better way to wrap this journey up than to celebrate Cobra Kai and the legacy that spawned this series and just rank every Karate Kid property. Now, everybody in chat, I see 6 of you. Tonight is an interactive night. So what we're going to do is our world famous infinite tier list. We got the always late Chris Knight coming on, and we may come into a tie or a debate.
You know what? Can I make an executive decision? Everyone has a fucking vote.
No. Tiebreaker or it's uneven.
Come on, dude.
That's the way we've always done it.
Dude. This is a capsule on the funness that is and unpredictability that is Cobra Kai. How great it could be. Why not just leave it up to everyone so we can even get frustrated? You have a time limit, of course. Like when you're here, you can vote for it.
American Idol. You've got the regular judges, and then the audience.
No. I think hey guys in the chat, like, what do you think? Do you think that you deserve an equal vote? Because I do. Because I want to have fun tonight. If we're talking,
remember that I am the mayor of New York.
Let's just do
I am
it.
the mayor, and
no, we will not. That's not how I'm gonna place it. That's not how I'm gonna place it. I'm in control of where the thing goes.
We are going to keep it. We are going to keep this as we always do.
No, we're not.
The way that we run any other tier list.
Janie, Carmen, you guys have an equal say as we do.
No,
Janie, this is the
they're
time.
Fine either way.
I'm on the side of the people, just so you know.
Oh my God! Now you started a revolution. We have one who wants to be rebellious.
Yeah, women have the right to vote. Okay, Zod. Okay.
I'm sorry, but
the
channel is called General Zod's Phantom Zone, and if you don't know General Zod from Superman, let me educate you really quick.
Boring.
He's not for democracy. This is a dictatorship rule.
No, it's not.
By the general of the dictatorship, that would be General Zod. Oh, look at that. My nameplate says, oh, oops, wrong way. Over this way. Yeah, Zod. There we go. It's there.
See?
Down there. Okay. Anyways, I think we should get started with this tier list. We'll incorporate Chris's vote as he comes in. Let's kick this off. I want to see. I said I wouldn't be spoiled for you guys tonight. He's going to reveal his tier list names. Brand new with me, so I don't even know what he called any of these tiers. Nothing. We're all going to see this.
This guy refused to see it beforehand.
I refused because I believe in you. If you guys have been watching our tier list, Justin is that phrase he don't miss. He's always got great little quirky names for the different tiers. So I'm super excited because he's had a week to cook on this, and yeah, it's gonna be fun to see what we come up with here tonight. I'm super jazzed up about this. This has been the most excited I've been for a tier list. So
all right.
Let's unveil this puppy. What do we got? Karate Kid, Bullied, and Cobra Kai. Let's go.
And this is all of them. And the categories for the Cobra Kai and Karate Kid tier list are starting with the GOAT category, which is going to be voted on within the S tier. You're the best around with Pat
I
Morita.
love it. Oh, you got okay. That's good, and you got the best song around.
Yep, and
Really
everyone
good.
who's competing for the best around is in the All Valley. All right.
I like it. I like it. Very
All right.
thematic.
And right below that is the Silver Spoons.
Okay.
All right, and then
that's
honorable trash, and then we have Taekwondo. I have no idea why I called it that, but that's what I was debating about. I was like, is this even karate? No. Just, what's the stupidest pun I can think of? Taekwondo. That's like a great strain that you can get from Michigan, like marijuana, like or something like that. The Taekwondo.
Not that we advocate, so YouTube don't pull us. We don't advocate for that stuff, but
I do.
Fair, it's legal and
we also advocate for airheads, whatever. Right in the middle of it.
Jesus Christ, you're killing me here.
I know. And the last one is Bert.
Oh, Bert. Oh, Bert.
Bert. I don't know. I just the guy has a good sense of humor of it, so like I figured it would be funny.
Oh, this is weird.
What?
Hold on a second. Apparently, I don't know why people can't see the. People couldn't see the. Oh, when I put it up, you could see it for a second, but it's not appear. Okay, there it goes. There it goes. For a second, we had it to where people couldn't see the tier list. So now they just see Bert. It's kind of hilarious.
but now they can see it. Okay. So all right, let's hide it real quick.
Well, no, don't mess around with it because.
Well, it's okay. All right, so guys, if you can see it, the best around is the top one, which we'll all be voting for. Like the number one is gonna go in the best around, and then we have everyone competing for the best around in the All Valley, and then the next below is the Silver Spoons. You know, cheesy, stupid shit. And then, and then we have honorable trash, and then we have Taekwondo, which makes no sense, and then Bert. Just
and don't worry about it zoomed in. We're gonna zoom out later. We just zoom in for the title because if we zoom out, it's harder to see the words. So yeah, we zoom out when we start to place things so you can.
Yeah, when we're introducing it, like I just want everyone to read it and be able to see it.
Because then the words are super small. But anyway, so tell us about the titles that will be competing tonight, so people get an idea. Just in case, I don't know, you've never seen the Karate Kid. What are you doing? They're all on Netflix. Go watch them.
Okay, well, there's The Karate Kid, the original 1984 film, and then there's 1986's The Karate Kid Part 2, which mostly took place in Okinawa, Japan.
Okay, no spoilers to our thoughts yet. Just keep going.
And then The Karate Kid Part 3, which was in 1989 and was more of a continuation of the first Karate Kid, sort of encapsulated the first 5 minutes of Karate Kid Part 2, and really tied all 3 movies together, and was very cheesy and very stupid at the time.
No reviews, just.
But regardless, 1994's The Next Karate Kid, with
underrated gem. Keep going.
This is a. Hey, what about no reviewing? You
okay, I'm sorry, slipped. You slipped on 3 of them.
We're done with that. With Oscar-winning actress Hilary Swank, and then we have 2010's The Karate Kid with Jackie Chan and Will Smith's kid, Jaden. And then we have all 6 seasons of Cobra Kai, but they decided to split up the last season.
I think we should.
I'm just gonna do it as a whole. I want to do it
we
as a
should do
whole.
them split because I disagree. I think they each have very
Are you
different
sure?
qualities. I am 100% sure. I honestly do see it as 2 separate seasons. You got my review.
All right. Let's do it then.
Yeah,
If it's already separated, like I didn't even have to like look up anything. Like this was all put together. This is brilliant.
Oh yeah, I think it's fair
except
to
for the
split them
tiers.
because
Like I made up that, but like these were already here. So
if you guys want to know our thoughts on the series, go check out our final review for that, and you can get my full thoughts because I don't want to get into how I feel about it being split up and everything. I talked about that in our
all
review,
right, all right.
We're not going to retread that.
Do you? I want to do something kind of cool. Let's do. Do you want to do the? I want to do the first season of Cobra Kai first.
No, we should do it in order because I actually like for the first time how they did this. So don't move anything because it goes exactly where it should go. No, stop moving. Stop. Move it back. Move it back. No, I just said move them back. We should do them in order. It's only like 8 things to do. No, don't just move everything back because I like going from the
all right.
older
I'll
ones.
fix it later. Let's go with the first Karate Kid. If you really want to, go ahead.
Yes, I want to go in chronological order because I think we can then give better reasons for what it helps propel why Cobra Kai is.
Zod, just so you know, I was just fucking with you.
I know. This is why I got bad blood pressure. I saw my doctor and I said, "Yeah, just improper." He was like, "What are you talking about?"
It's so easy.
Okay, so the original Karate Kid, and I know Chris is not here, but I think we can universally agree. There is no place you can put this. And I'm sure some wild, crazy person out there will have some kind of negative thing to say. But if they got anything, feel free to put it in the chat or the comment sections later. This is All Valley. Like, this is the definition of All Valley. Literally, you have to put the original Karate Kid.
I mean, this movie
started
invented the All Valley, so that's not even a question. So let's.
Hold on. I want to read something really quick.
We can also take the chat into account. All right, ladies.
No.
Gentlemen.
No.
Any disagreements?
No.
Any disagreements? I don't think so. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Zod, whether you like it or not. They're not going to disagree. I don't think.
Carmen says, "Shit, you two sound like girls fighting." I take pride on our cat fights here in the Phantom Zone. The first
but for some reason, our female voices count and yours don't. For some reason.
No, I have Janie. I don't disagree that it'll come down to the first movie, and maybe the first movie will get the GOAT, but we won't know until we duke them out.
We won't know. We won't know.
Honestly, I think we have a contender to beat it, but we'll save that discussion for later.
We have a couple of contenders, honestly.
We do have a couple of contenders. I just agree with Zod. Of course you would, Carmen. That's why I love you.
Yeah, so now moving on to the Karate Kid Part 2.
I'm going to be honest with you.
No, I want to start this one.
Okay, no, you're right. I did the first one. Go ahead. You kick us off. What do you think?
So with the Karate Kid Part 2, the first 10 minutes really like both amazed me. Like I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a continuation. Especially with the John Cree scene. That was very pivotal to the plot going forward and even leading into the third movie. Nothing of the rest of the movie had anything to do with Los Angeles whatsoever. They swept Elizabeth Shue under the rug like she was fucking nobody. Like she was a
But to be
fucking dirty.
fair,
No, it was.
no,
It,
the
it
actress
was.
said she didn't want to do it. So
I
maybe
know.
you should
But
factor that in.
the writing could have been more clever. Like, come on, like don't even bother to pick up. Like,
I'm saying this is coming from the own actress. I'm not
What?
saying she
What?
did it many
I
times.
mean,
She said she was
I know
done.
they couldn't do anything, but what they could have done is make the Okinawa, which is the majority, the overwhelming majority of the film, is so boring in Okinawa.
I mean, I don't disagree there, but first, hold on.
So boring, and that's
Hold on. We got to get one vote before we continue with your vote, and then I'll go to Chris for this one as well. Do you agree where we put Karate Kid 1? I know there's only one answer.
Chris.
S tier.
Hello, how are you? Skip the hole from the wall. Talk loud like a bullet boy.
Is
Oh
he
my
calling
god!
from Okinawa?
Oh my
Did
god!
someone get his phone from Okinawa?
We're back to 1920s radio, Chris. Holy shit!
Are we?
He's like, yes, folks. Tonight on Phantom Zone Talks,
Yeah,
Chris
okay,
Knight
all
is
right.
here with us.
Where did you put one at? I'm driving, so I can't see. I mean, I can see it, but I just can't zoom in on it.
Oh, we put it in S tier.
Where'd you put it? Oh, S tier?
Oh, okay. So the categories are so the best around is going to be the goated like #1 movie.
Yep.
And then the S tier for the time being is the All Valley, everyone competing, and then Silver Spoons
is A tier,
and then Honorable Trash, and then Taekwondo, and then
C.
Yep, and then Bert, which is a picture
Garbage
of
tier.
that scrawny little kid in Cobra Kai.
All right, so Karate Kid 1. I mean, what can I say about it? I kind of think of it kind of like a Jurassic Park. It just, I don't know. It's just
No!
Fuck me again with the Jurassic Park. That will haunt us forever.
No!
Wait. Hold on, let me finish. It just kind of rubs me the wrong way. I mean, Mr. Miyagi steals a black belt in the movie. I mean, that's horrible. He's not like that. And Daniel obviously is the problem because he's the one screwing with everybody. And dude, I love that movie. I've loved that movie since it came out. I watched it probably 40 times the first year it was out. It's S tier all the way. Absolutely, I don't know how you could have made a better movie at that time. I've been to a lot of the places they show there.
Had me fucking worried when you mentioned Jurassic Park.
I know
there was some red flags.
That's why I started that way. Anyways, no, I mean, I've been to a lot of the places that are in the movie. As a kid, I mean, back when the movie was out, I used to hang out around a lot of those places. So when it came out, I was like, oh, I've been there. I loved it. There was a lot of things that just worked really well. I loved it. So yeah, it's S tier for sure. It's right up there, All Valley.
Yeah, and now we're on Karate Kid Part 2, and this is where I was going on my rant on it. I'll save my ranking for when everyone else goes, but I was not a fan of Karate Kid Part 2.
You gotta set the tempo. You gotta tell us.
No, go ahead.
I'm not.
Wait, whoa.
Own it.
Well, okay, listen. Go ahead and start because I'm going to go inside and grab a beer or two while you talk. I got to run inside and get a couple of beers.
Well, all I was going to say is that I'm going to save my official ranking until everyone is done. But I just want to get my thoughts out. So I'll
be right back. I'll be right back really quick.
All right, cool. Go get your fucking alcohol, all right? So we can get this the fuck out. Actually, I'm going to go for a beer run, too. I already said my piece. So, Zod, it's your fucking turn.
Look at these drunk motherfuckers. Thank you, everybody who's watching. Anyways, so what can I say about Karate Kid 2? I agree with a lot of points that Justin just brought up. I think the first 10 or 15 minutes of this movie is a "What's up, rookie critic? Good to see you. Hope you enjoy this." I think the first
Get
10
that
minutes.
motherfucker in here, rookie critic. Come on in here.
I mean, I don't know. He doesn't want to sit here for a tier list with us.
You don't know that.
If he says he wants to, then I have no choice. I mean, I'm not going to deny the critic. It's literally in his name. Like, you know, I'll send the link right now. I don't know, though. I mean, this could get nutty.
Oh my God. Stop it. Like, no Diddy, right?
Anyways, motherfucker, let me talk. So, I have to say
I've been waiting forever.
in the Karate Kid 2, my big thing with this movie is I think the first 10 minutes of this film are solid. And unlike Justin Proper, I don't think that the Okinawa scenes are necessarily bad in a vacuum.
Wait, how much of the movie is good?
I think that the issue is that Chosen is better and the actor is better in the show and has clearly refined his craft more, where in this movie he's very much over the top, and certain parts work, but I think this is kind of where the writers didn't have a good balance, like you see at Cobra Kai with the spectacle versus the realism or the real feel that this has. And Janie Davis is already going with Silver Spoons. I don't know if I go that high, but I think I can put this in honorable trash. I don't think it's unwatchable. And if I put a movie in the C or D tier or the F tier, it's a movie I won't come back and visit. I've watched this movie if I'm doing a Karate Kid trilogy, or I'm sorry, the next Karate Kid. We'll get to that because that movie gets too much hate and it's fucking brilliant. But anyways, I can watch all four of those movies together and feel like they belong in the same category together. It doesn't feel disconnected to the Karate Kid, although I do agree with Proper. The stuff in Japan is fucking slow. There's a lot of meandering in this movie.
Yeah,
a lot of bad pacing issues.
It's just like
where they're driving. Remember that scene, Justin? Because you and me watched these recently. There's literally a fucking 10-minute scene of them just fucking cruising around, not doing nothing. They're just
with the pan flute solo,
with the fucking pan flute. Oh yeah, God.
Okay, we get it, we get it, we get it, we get it, we fucking get it.
I put it in honorable trash.
Where'd Justin put it?
You would put it in honorable trash? Oh wow, that is harsh. But
yeah, I put it in honorable trash because of the reasons that you said. Like,
I mean,
is really
I would have put it in Silver Spoons, but you know what? I think
so
I'm gonna agree with you. Honorable trash. Sure.
I don't know where Chris is gonna put it.
Well, let me see here. You guys are both fucking nuts. I'm going to explain something to you. And you know what, there, Mr. I want to be a villain's odd boy. No. You listen, you are into martial arts. You've done martial arts. If you don't see the reason for the scenes in Okinawa, which I've been to, and I love that place. My mom lived there as a child. The whole reason for the scenes and the whole reason it's slow paced because one, it's like that. It's out of time. It got stuck in a period of time. When you go there still, yes, there's modern things there, but there are villages there that just feel like they stopped. And it's amazing. It's historically just stuck. and it's all about culture, the honor, the history of what Daniel learns in the first movie. He knows his master, Mr. Miyagi, has come from here, but he doesn't know a lot about him. So here he is learning about why Mr. Miyagi is the way he is, where he learned what he's been taught in the first movie. This movie is, you have to look at it for not only a sequel, but it's almost a prequel because it tells you everything. And it's so amazing. Now, there are parts of this, and I'm going to put this, I would put this in All Valley if it wasn't for a few things. One, it retcons a couple things we learned in the first movie. We never hear about this woman that he left behind that he loves dearly. We only hear about a wife that died in childbirth in the first movie. So it's kind of confusing on that level. And we don't ever hear really why he left, and that's kind of, it sounds more like they moved to the United States and he became a soldier and all. So there's some conflicting things being shown and told there. And then the other reason why I can't put it in All Valley is the freaking end of the fight where he honks the guy's nose. And I know that's a callback to the first part of the movie, but it's horrible in the first part of the movie too. And those two parts right there kind of are what takes it down for me. But this movie is a brilliant sequel. Hold on there, Mr. Wannabe Zod villain boy. No, you see, this movie is a brilliant sequel. It is almost a Terminator 2 type. I mean, it's literally that good. It is
okay,
not.
so first off,
It is not. I'm not done. It is not exactly. Yeah, of course not. No, of course not. It is not exactly T2. It's not as brilliant. But this movie is nowhere near the bullshit you guys just spat out.
Okay,
honest to God, I would put this in All Valley if it wasn't for what I just said.
Let him finish his damn thought so we can move on.
It is the top, tippity top before you have to go into All Valley and Silver Spoon.
Okay, I strongly disagree, but JD Davis is right. She says, Zod does know about Asian culture for martial arts. I doubt he hasn't considered that. Yes. And Chris, I just want to say, you absolutely made snap judgments without listening to a fucking thing I said. So let me clarify that. Put that down. No, put that down. We aren't on that yet. Okay, so this is what I was saying was, Chris, I said, and you can ask Justin Proper before we went on air. I talked about this because we had this very debate. Yes, it is very much about the culture. As a martial artist, I judge that. But I can't even go silver spoons with the way, A, they went very over the top with the death style when it was so grounded. Okay, I could let that go. But B, yes, Chris, it's a beautiful culture. It's lovely scenery. But you can do that without it being boring. There is a lot of parts in this movie that very much slow the pace down that were not in the first one. And yes, I get it. You got set up. We're discovering about Mr. Miyagi, but that doesn't excuse pacing. Like, people have rose-colored tinted eyes for original movies, and they give them a fucking pass because, oh, it's a classic, which is bullshit. If there's issues, there are issues no matter when it came out. It could have came out in 84, or it could have came out now. The movie still has pacing issues. And hold on, I let you talk. The movie is still disconjointed because I agree with Justin. Yes, a lot of the movie, especially the first 10 minutes of the movie, are fucking excellent. And you're like sold to the idea that you're going to see kind of a continuation, but then they completely pull the rug from under you and they put you in Japan. And you said it yourself, Chris. They retcon shit from the original movie, which then again makes me think, what the fuck was the point? Like, I get it. You're getting backstory on Mr. Miyagi. It kind of feels like a prequel / sequel, whatever else. And I do think some of the fight choreograph in this movie is slightly better than the original because we were entering more modern times. The movements were getting better. I think that some of the fights are more kinetic. But at the same time, it still feels like two very different movies mashed into one film. And I don't feel personally, me myself, that it can fits. I think the prequel half of it and the Okinawa half is good. I think the 10 minutes that they set up the finishing out the Kree stuff and what happened after the Karate Kid is good. But it's kind of like two movies battling with different kinds of tones, and it throws you off. And you said that yourself in the review, where you're kind of like, well, they retconned this, so I kind of threw this off.
No, I brought up those things because those are reasons why I drop it down, but it's not enough of a difference because if you don't really watch the first film, you kind of lose sight of that. Because when Daniel reads the letter about his wife dying, it's almost, I remember it was like I was probably 15 or 16 before I really listened to what the fuck he was mumbling when he was reading that letter. It's not, it's very lightly brought in. It's like not a very heavy thing. It just, and so it's there. I know it's there, but I mean, they both could happen. He left. He left because he was told to fight, and he decided, I'm not going to fight. I'm going to leave. And then that's what happened. He came here. He found this lady. His wife died in childbirth. It all works out. Still, it's the way that they did it, and I'm not disagreeing with it. But I don't think I don't disagree with the two-part deal either. But I think that's because he thinks he's going to this place where Mr. Miyagi comes from, and he's gonna see where Mr. Miyagi learned karate and all that. And then when he goes there, he realizes he's the minority, and now he is the one that's being shunned, and everybody's like, there's the one half of the people that are trying to be nice to him that are Mr. Miyagi's friends, and then here's this faction of people that's the evil corporate guy and all that. It works out to me. It works fine. It just, yeah, there's a little bit of a change of pace, but I think that's fine. It's like a little twist. You think this is going to be about him and Mr. Miyagi's father's death, and all that, and then you learn about all this extra stuff.
All right.
You never knew about.
What's the final?
Well, that's my Jurassic Park hot take. I put it in honorable trash in honor of what.
That's fine. I just think you guys are crazy for it. I think this movie is so much better than that.
I agree with your points, but I still, in my heart and soul, feel honorable trash.
Fine.
So.
That's fine. I mean, you have every right
I'm saying it's a B. I'm not like saying it's like honorable trash. Like if
I said, honestly,
I want to say
I just can't give it
silver spoons, but like,
go to the fact that like I said, I put it. I feel like this sequel is almost Terminator 2. Almost. Not Terminator 2, but almost that good of a sequel.
I don't know. Like honorable. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Let's just
put it up with honorable trash too.
All right. Now let's go with the Karate Kid Part 3.
Oh, this is yours to start, Chris. I'm curious about this one.
Let's go. Let's go. The Karate Kid Part 3.
Well, I like this movie as just a kind of a popcorn flick. I feel like it's just so soulless in a sense. You bring back, you got this whole story.
Corny ass fucking poster, like right there.
You got this whole little thing where Mr. Miyagi starts his bonsai tree, store. You have all this little stuff in there, the new girlfriend, all that. It just feels like they're trying to kind of, it just feels like they're forcing a direct sequel to one a little too much. I don't mind this film. I like it. I think they have played the turning Daniel into everything that Mr. Miyagi taught him not to be a little better. If they had played that aspect of this a little better, where he keeps going to Mr. Miyagi, hey, show me this, show me this, show me this. Like, if they could have found a way to really separate him from Mr. Miyagi really quick and have him say, you know what, screw him. He's not going to teach me the stuff I need to know to go back to the tournament and win. And then he just goes and, what's his name? Terry, oh, God damn it.
Terry Silver, man.
Thank you. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Sorry, I was trying to think about it.
The greatest of all villains in Cobra Kai. Not so much of that.
Well,
I'll get to my thoughts about that.
I don't disagree with that, but if they had just done it where he literally very quickly severs his ties with Mr. Miyagi, and they left a lot of the fluff where he keeps going back and asking him, hey, show me how to sweep and all this other stuff. If they had played that switch to everything that he was taught not to be a little better, it would have played like a better movie, where at the end he realizes why Mr. Miyagi taught him all that stuff. It would have felt a little more natural.
It's hilarious. Hold on, Chris. Just 1 second. Shiftygasm, welcome, by the way. I haven't seen you in a minute. He says, hey. Terry Silver, son of Long John.
Yes.
That was a good one. I like that.
But this movie is a fun popcorn flick. I like it. I do like the concept of it. I just don't think it's delivered very well. So I would put this one in honorable trash, but a very, very high honorable trash. Because fundamentally speaking, the things they try to play with would have been very good had they nailed it on the head with it.
Okay, I'm going to go because I actually wholeheartedly am going to agree
You're
with
also net.
on this.
You're also net.
I can't believe I'm saying that, but
I will.
Let's give you an example.
No. Hey, Popper. Justin, no, just wait a minute. Go ahead. Say that again there. What'd you say?
I agree with Chris on this one. I could have been Karate Kid 2. We could debate, and I could see it being in Silver Spoons if it went that way. Okay, that I felt like was in a weird middle ground. For me, for all the reasons Chris said, this is definitely the definition of honorable trash. I don't think it's bad. Like there's a lot of hate for this movie I never understood. And I just feel like I'm not on the level with you, Chris, where I think it's a soulless corporate grab. I can see marketing.
Oh, I didn't say that.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like it's very. There is cash grab elements, like bringing Cobra Kai back, having the new. Like, I can see where there's kind of an exec hand in there going, bring
back to the first movie. That's
bring it back to the original. We gotta reel in more people. But I think this is the definition of when people say a popcorn flick. I think it's fun. If I'm going through the binge watch like I did in preparation for this tier list, I can watch this and not feel like I wasted time. You guys know what I mean? Like, you just watch the movies in the series and you get to that one where you're like, it's not bad, it's not good, it's just there. It's not offensive. There's nothing they do that really pisses me off. It's not boring. God, a coked out Terry Silver. If you guys don't know the history, the actor actually said when they were shooting this, he was doing drugs and shit while filming this shit.
No.
Sorry. So a coked out Terry Silver, just over the top. And then, like, I think that the Cobra Kai actually makes this movie much more fun to watch, where you realize where they're going with his character. I think actually Cobra Kai really helped make this movie a much better movie for me. Because now I'm like, oh yeah, he was always a crazy, insane son of a bitch. Like, he just learned how to rein it in a little better. And it's cool now that we have Cobra Kai because we can kind of see that arc for this character. Now, if you first saw this movie, he was basically a cartoon character that came out of nowhere, right? He, like, very maniacal, mustache twirling kind of villain. But then when you see it in context of the show, it makes me like this movie a little bit more. Because I would have went lower than honorable trash. But being that we have Cobra Kai, I think it really elevates this movie a tad higher.
I think it elevates it to Silver Spoons.
Ooh, that's a bold choice, Cotton. I mean, I think the argument for 2 was better than this one. I can't get there with you.
I mean, like, because this movie, while ridiculous as it is, it's never boring. And I will take terrible fucking shit. Like that is so laughably
That
awful.
is true.
Like
That is
over a snooze fest any fucking day. Any fucking day. Give me the most laughably bad, coked out bullshit that we can possibly do and get away with. Like, let's have a villain who's basically on par with like Tommy Oliver in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers when he's like the evil Green Ranger for like.
You know what? That's a great comparison. That is actually a really good comparison.
Like, it's
I love
on
Power
par
Rangers. That
with
was
the
a good
Mighty
fucking
Morphin Power Rangers. In fact,
This
movie is the only movie in canon with the Power Rangers. Like in my from my warped perspective,
He literally does feel like he came right from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. He feels like he did come from there. It's like he took a left on a certain block.
I preferred it over the boring ass Karate Kid Part 2 bullshit in Okinawa. Blah blah.
Well, I'm sorry that I have a more refined palate than you have.
No, I don't like it.
Can I just say I missed you guys? I missed this shit.
I have too. These people, man.
I
miss you guys so much.
Wow, coming from the 1920s, Chris, to tell you that the Karate Kid Part 3 is worse than the Karate Kid Part 2. That's 1920s Radio Chris, right here.
No. Listen here, copper. See, copper, I'm going to get you, copper. Just stop right there. Oh, God.
It's DB Cooper.
Okay, so we have 1 silver spoon, 2 honorable trash. I think it's going in.
I put it below Karate Kid 2.
So
I'm sure you guys put it above there.
Well, it's going to go above it anyways because Crazy put it in silver spoon, so it's going to go right above Karate Kid 2.
I put the other one in silver spoons, though. You both put Karate Kid 2 in honorable trash. I put it in silver spoon. So it's the same amount.
Okay, so which one do we think is better?
Karate Kid 3. That's where it's going. That's where it's going.
No. Listen, Mr. De Facto. No, Mr. De Facto. You don't get final say in this.
The next Karate Kid.
Karate Kid 2. I think Karate Kid 2 is better.
I'm going to, unfortunately, now talking it out. I'm sorry, Justin. Put Karate Kid 2 over Karate Kid 3. I was between silver spoons and honorable trash. So with Karate Kid 3, I'm definitely all honorable trash. So yeah, 2 edges it out for me. Not to be snobby, Chris sensibilities, but he is right. I think 2 has more substance to it, where 3 is fun. It's got very bombastic over the top.
Jamie, I'm sorry. Did we trigger you?
So
I feel like we did because she can't.
Put
popcorn.
2 goes above 3.
I hope you're doing well. And
2 in front of 3.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
No.
Yes. You don't get the win.
God. Oh, and Janie Davis, thank you for coming by. It was
all right. The next Karate Kid.
Okay, I'm starting this one, fuckers. I've been championing this movie for goddamn years. I had this discussion with Justin Proper. This movie is so fucking underrated, and I hate the fact that Hilary Swank won a goddamn Oscar for $1 Million Baby, and rightfully so. It's a great movie, but this to me is the template for how great of an actress Hilary Swank is going to be. And everybody gets all bitchy and butthurt. There's no Daniel LaRusso. It says the next Karate Kid. There's still a Mr. Miyagi. I love the story. I love her evolution. I connect with her background and how she's a street kid. And honestly, let me finish. Let me finish. I'm not done.
I can answer the question of why $1 Million Baby got her an Oscar and not this one. It's because of ableism.
Okay, shut the fuck up. Anyways, for me, this movie, okay, and maybe it's because I was personally invested when I got into martial arts, all right, and I actually saw this movie before the original Karate Kid. I don't know why, it's just how it worked out. I didn't know about the world until I saw the next Karate Kid. I was like, what the fuck, the next Karate Kid? And fuck me, I didn't know there were 3 movies before it. And then I watched the Karate Kid, and it was a life-changing moment, okay? Without a doubt, like, the original Karate Kid was, life-changing, whatever else. But this movie connected to me because it was a street kid who had nothing, that had a tough life, and used martial arts to become a better person. And it's a story about not only Mr. Miyagi teaching her karate and stuff like that, and people were like, well, it's like the original, but I think it's more kind of grounded and feels more real to me because there's more like inner city and stuff like that. And karate saved my life in a lot of ways. When I came back from being in the service and I started instructing and teaching kids, I was in a very bad place in my life. And I think that this movie illustrates how someone can have a lot of things going wrong in their life, and how meeting a person and learning these things, it's not just about fighting, but it's about becoming a better person, a better individual. And I think this movie, above any of the other ones except for the first movie, and we'll get to Cobra Kai, really shows the inner change. And by the end of the movie, she doesn't lose like the snarkiness and the street smart or whatever, but she kind of becomes better and like molds into a better person by the end of this film. And that's the definition of what a Karate Kid movie is supposed to be. And there's no unrealistic bullshit. Like, even the final fight, I think, was like some drug dealers or something. It was something pretty deep. And there's a lot of heavy themes in this movie as well. I think this was like the first Karate Kid that tackled a lot of issues, and this was before we had political bullshit. So there was a lot of issues about sexism and things like that that they incorporated in this that I think they handle very well. And it also dealt with Miyagi and his own ways, because he doesn't want to train her because he's a girl, because she's a girl. And he says that in one of the movies. I don't know if you watched this recently, but he says, I know training women. Like, it's even challenging the mindset of certain teachers and their principles, when the martial arts is supposed to be shared with everybody. But there's still stigma, there's still sexism, there's still things that old masters and old school teachers adhered by, because it's some bullshit practice that's been happening for 1,000 years. And I don't agree with all of the aspects of martial arts and some of the things that they incorporated into it. And so I think this movie really does a good job in not only bringing it in for a new generation, but also showing those kinds of divisions and the different challenges from both sides. I think Cobra Kai would do it better with Tori, and we'll get to that. But I think this movie was the template for the other characters we would get into Cobra Kai. And I'm still fucking pissed that by the end of Cobra Kai, we didn't get Hilary Swank. Get on that shit. But yeah, I fucking love this movie. And I'm just going to say I'm putting it in All Valley. I don't give a fuck. I would put this right up there with the original. I fucking love this movie. This was the first one I saw before I saw the original, and I would say yes. Hand to God, gun to my head. The quality, the shots are much better in this movie. The pacing is much better. the fights have a lot more weight and impact to them. And I think the themes are more mature because we were in the 90s. And I think that they explored a lot more mature stuff with this Karate Kid. So, yeah, I'm putting this in All Valley.
Oh God, are you finally done?
Yeah, I'm
You
sorry.
went on for so long.
I've been meaning to say this for years. I should have done a fucking
You
video
went
on
on
this.
for so long, Chris fucking left.
I broke Chris.
Did he have to leave? Like, what the fuck?
Oh, you know, Chris, he's probably switching over or something. He said something about getting beers and then he was so he's probably switching over to different devices. But yeah, I'm gonna put this in All Valley.
You're fucking retarded. What the? No, this is honorable trash at best. I don't know what to say. Like, just no. I mean, I respect the movie, but it's like it's on the same level as the Karate Kid Part 3. Like, it's.
I disagree with you. I think it had a lot more themes. It had something to say, and it was a Karate Kid that tackled sexism before the whole culture started talking about it.
All just. No, but I respect everything that went into it, especially.
No, I get it. You're sexist. You don't like a
no, the villain
in your
in the
league.
movie.
You were like, oh, no penis.
Hold on, Zod. The actor who played the villain in the movie, like Michael Cavaletti or whatever. He was Italian, and he was being interviewed by Star Wars Theory, also an Italian guy. I mean, after hearing his story, like, and hearing his interview, I had more respect for that man than I had ever even thought I would. You know, and it just showed me like everyone's journey, like through that film, even though like it wasn't received very well, and rightfully so. It wasn't as bad in faith as. Yeah, it was a silly little cash grab, I guess. But
I wouldn't call it a cash grab.
It wasn't as bad of a movie as people say it is.
Okay, maybe it's just me, but I just feel that it's a movie that's always had a bad rap, and I put it there with All Valley because.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But that's why I put it in honorable trash.
See, I put it in All Valley because I think that it has more things that speak to me like the original Karate Kid did. Like the original Karate Kid, I came in on it late, but when I saw that, I'm like, yeah, I'm vibing with this. Everybody's been bullied, everybody knows that. But this movie, when I saw it, spoke to me because it was a street kid who has a rough life. She's trying to do the right thing. She's being told she can't do this, she can't do that. And we're not going into the whole male sexist thing or anything. I'm just saying on a level of people seeing you poor or that you don't have a certain status. I think every one of us can relate to that, and you got to resort to doing things, which is where our over the top Italian. I love that we had those stereotypes still. But the Italian gangster or whatever. Yes, I agree with you, Justin. That is goofy. I do agree there's a lot of goofy parts, but I do think this movie is constructed on some very decent writing that got overlooked, I feel like
it's so honorable trash though with the way it's executed. Not with the main themes with Hilary Swank, but everything else, the fuck around it, and all of how it was executed in the direction. Wow, whatever themes you were trying to get across did not translate.
Okay,
Like,
so then it's going to land in
everything
Silver
else
Spoons.
was.
If you put in honorable trash, and I put in All Valley, it's in Silver Spoons.
Well, hold on, but if nothing else, like whatever themes they were trying to get across, like everything else was so distracting. Like, come on, like
I
the
disagree, and maybe because I watched it at an age where I wasn't looking. Okay, I will be completely fair with you. Even seeing it today, maybe I'm the one now with the nostalgia goggles because this movie
I
means a
think
lot to my
I think a
journey.
little, but to put it in All Valley, like right up
I
there, with
do.
the
I
first
put it up there because I watched this. I
right up
watched the
there
Karate.
with the first
Those are
Karate
my movies.
Kid. Are you fucking kidding me?
I put it right up there with the first film for me. Right up there with it.
Why?
Because
Why? Like
me
that's
personally, okay, let me break it down like this. First Karate Kid movie, right? The big themes are being bullied. His parents died. He looks to Mr. Miyagi as sort of this father
his
figure.
mom is still alive.
Let
What are
me,
you talking
let me
about?
finish. He's just with his mom. Anyways, I say he died because he ain't in the picture. Whatever the situation is, he's basically just him and his mom, and he looks to me, Mr. Miyagi, as the father figure that he doesn't have. That's been clearly established throughout Cobra Kai and the rest of his journey, right? Now, in this movie, it's kind of the same setup. I'd say more so because she comes from a really broken home. She has to do things to get by. And that hits harder for me because I had similar situations where life was a little rough for me and I can connect with the movie. So I can look past some of the cheesy moments that don't work because for me, everything else around the movie works, even the karate in it and things like that. All of it's very practically done. And doing interviews and stuff, she did her own stunts in this. She did the choreograph. She did the moves. She put in the work in this movie. And that also adds an extra layer to me because it shows me that the people involved cared about what they were doing. Like, yes, on the surface and probably in the corporate world, this was just to get the IP back out there and to get the money in. I understand that. And yes, some of the acting and the dialogue is rough. We can say the same thing about all of them, but I really fucking love this movie. And this was the movie that got me to see the rest of the movies. So this movie to me is always going to have a special place in my heart because it's the movie that most really reflects my journey as a martial artist. I grew up in the streets. I had a rough childhood and I found martial arts and it helped me. So I know you can't understand what I'm saying proper, but that's why I connect on this movie. That's why I would put it up right with the first film. Because if it wasn't for this movie, I wouldn't have gone back and watched the other films. See, when the original Karate Kids came out, newsflash, I didn't watch all the 80s shit. I was still into the Star Wars and everything else. So yeah, I went far back for that. But I knew nothing about the Karate Kid. I watched other movies like Jean Claude Van Damme and Bloodsport and things like that. Those were the kind of karate films I was in. But one day this came out. I went with a couple of friends and I was like, holy shit, this is really good. And they're like, yeah, man, there's like 3 other movies. I go, what? And then that's when I went back and I watched the originals. And I would say that this movie, above the other ones, mirrors the themes and everything else from that first movie. Just replace Daniel with a woman. And for all the woke people, this shit dealt with sexism better than half the movies that are out now. I mean,
It actually
literally,
did.
Miyagi says he's not going to train her because she's a woman. Like, he says that in the movie. And it is a realistic look at what some teachers do. Like, people
Like
want to portray
he's
like
like
the
he's like
martial arts
Daniel
is
is
open
one
minded.
thing, but like
They are very
the
sexist in
girl,
martial arts.
no.
Yes, thank you. Zig agrees with
That's
me.
very
Thank you.
true.
He
Like
says,
I'm
"I think I agree with Zod, but the downside of the film make it a silver spoon at best for me." And I respect that, but for me, it's all Valley, just because I got a personal connection. This movie is what started me on my journey, and
Hey, what's up, Chris?
I
Hey.
think that I think that it doesn't even get the recognition it deserves, and it's a shame because Hilary Swank did her own fucking stunts. Like, she took the time to learn. which shows me a level of care.
All right, now we should get to know what Chris's opinion is, because we've talked forever.
I hope Chris backs me up, because goddamn, I feel like I'm on an island with this movie every time I fucking talk about this. But I mean, it's just one I'm personally invested in. Maybe my judgment is wrong, but this is gonna be my, kind of biased pick, I guess.
The hardest thing about this movie, the hardest thing that you can always say about any movie that is a sequel in and among itself is to change out one of the two main characters. There's two main characters in all four of these movies, or two. In the first three, there's the same two main characters.
I agree, Chris. So,
and it's difficult to change a character, but in this movie, it makes sense and it works. And I think of the two characters that you could replace, Daniel's the one that can be replaced. And that's not saying that he's not a necessity to the franchise, because he is. But by that time, he would have been on his own thing. It's very apparent in the third one, and this really does help the third one too, because it's apparent in the third one that he's done. He's passed all of it. Mr. Miyagi's taught him everything he can teach him. He's learned the lessons, and he'll move forward. And we'll get to that when we get to Cobra Kai, because I think 3 ties in very well to Cobra Kai. But in this one, of course, Mr. Miyagi is going to find another person. Of course, it makes sense from her background in the movie that she and he would form this teacher master dynamic, and it makes a lot of sense. I agree with you that this movie gets a horrid reputation. And it's because people just wanted Daniel back or something like that. Or maybe they wanted Daniel to be the master and to find a different person. Maybe if they put Daniel in Mr. Miyagi's place, they would have liked this movie a little better. I don't know. But
then they would have been Mr. Miyagi wasn't in it, and Pat Morita was alive, and then you would have blown your last chance of ever having
here's the thing. I don't know if that would matter. They would have complained one way or another. People just don't like this movie. I don't know why. It makes no sense. I go with what you said earlier when you're watching the quadrilogy or whatever you want to call it. This one works well. I would put this in the level of what a lot of people think about the Matrix Resurrection. There's a lot of people that hate the Resurrection movie. I love it. I watched that movie.
I do too. I can't understand that hate for that movie, Chris.
It makes so much sense. It's like it makes more sense than the second and the third movie. Anyways, I agree with him. I agree with Zod. I think it's all valid. And I don't think it's as high as the first one.
All right. Well, it goes
Silver Spoons because, of course, Justin put it in honorable trash. So, but you know what? I'm going to be happy with that. And Fig did say...
All right, if that's going to go into Silver Spoons, Karate Kid Part 3 is going
No.
Stop swapping shit. Jesus
according
Christ,
to the chat.
No.
Okay, so let me read what Fig said. Fig said, I agree with Zod, but the downside of the film makes it Silver Spoon at best. And I could even agree with that. Like, as long as I think it's put at that age here, because when you look at the third movie is a real, even though it's fun, it is a real big departure in quality of storytelling. And I think that a lot of people ignore how good the storytelling was in the next Karate Kid. And I thought it was really solid storytelling. And I'll go one step further. I think it lays the template to what Cobra Kai would be. I think, honestly, the movie was ahead of its time and people weren't ready for a change. But then we get to Cobra Kai and everybody's okay.
Kids are going to love it.
With the change. So,
it's like,
I've said what I had to say.
You guys weren't ready yet, but your kids are going to love it. And speaking of which, well, not quite yet, but the Karate Kid with fucking Jaden Smith. I'm opted
Who
out.
starts this?
I opted out because I have not seen this one.
Okay,
Who?
so I'm gonna say Bert. This is fucking trash. Chris, you go.
Yeah,
Fucking trash.
let's see here. I'm gonna say this really quick. Wet paper bag, meet Jaden Smith. Jaden Smith can't act his way out of a wet paper bag.
Bert.
I'm going to tell you a travesty. We were ranking, I think it was martial arts movies, and this one beat out the first Karate Kid.
Who the fuck were you ranking movies with? That is crazy.
Crazy people. And I even said that. I said,
What?
how can you even? Well, let's just start with the fact that here, okay, Zod, you can agree with me on this. Is this a movie about karate?
No, not in the least. It's about Kung Fu.
Exactly. So why do we even call it? Why don't you call it the Kung Fu Kid and make it a part of the series, an expanded universe? If they had at least started there, I would have been like, okay, fine. But no, they don't do that. I feel
Because they
I
can't
feel
market
really,
that.
I know, I understand that, I know, but still, I feel sad for Jackie Chan because I don't think he did a horrible job.
Oh no, Jackie Chan was the best part of that movie.
But
He
I can't
really
watch.
did great.
I don't think I've ever watched a Jaden Smith movie more than once, and I know he himself didn't want to act. I know he himself has
I mean,
said he was forced into it.
Happiness, like you only need to view that movie once.
I just hold on. Lovely Sherry is here, and I'm so
Hey.
glad because she pops in and out and she said hi to everyone. So hi, Lovely Sherry. It's lovely to have you on. Yeah, I agree with you, Chris. My biggest issues with this is and I was waiting because I know your feelings on this movie. So I was waiting for this tier list because I wanted to say, in this, you and me, 1,000 as the person who teaches martial arts, you guys do not understand how fucking annoying it is, and it's not just the titling of the movie, but how they try to make this movie. It's like a square peg trying to fit into a round hole. The way they try
it's
to
a giant square peg into a tiny round hole.
And it's like they're trying to say, oh no, but this is still no. This movie is made by people who don't understand martial arts, and they think that karate is just everything. And no,
Yeah.
karate is taekwondo. It's jujitsu. It's quan tai chi. There's a ton. Okay, I'd have to go to my notebook. There's so fucking many variations.
Yeah.
So for you to bring in a kung fu master, good for you. That's a good start. But it's not the same style, and really the story doesn't even have any connective tissues to the original Karate Kid. Like, even if you said Jackie Chan knew Mr. Miyagi, right, and they became friends, and his values came from his interactions, so then I can hold on to that. But this movie has no fucking connections. And Chris, I rewatched this, and it just flew out of my
I'm
mind.
sorry.
But I don't know if you remember any connections it has to anything in the franchise. Like, this feels completely on an island by itself. You can call it anything else.
I don't remember if there. I didn't feel like there was much of anything. It like you said, it's on an island, and the fact is I know people, and I just said there are people out there who like this movie better than the next Karate Kid, which is ludicrous.
It's insane. It's insane to me. Like, okay, even if you have
You may
gripes
as
with the
well
next
have
Karate
had
Kid,
Ludacris in the damn movie, I guess. Like,
you could have thrown Ludacris in there. That would have made more sense. You could have made this you could have said,
you know what?
Fast and Furious.
I think I'm gonna make an executive decision and put this in one. Don't and eliminate the
No.
because there's gonna be other ones in that. No.
Are there really?
Bert needs a friend. Yes, this is Bert. It's a piece of shit.
Bert needs a friend.
Bert needs a friend.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Bert. We got to give you the worst one. This should be low because, like Chris said, this isn't a Karate Kid movie. And honestly, I'm glad I wasn't on that panel with you, Chris, because I would have been personally offended as an instructor and been like, "What the fuck are you
I
talking about? It's
was.
not even a Karate Kid movie.
Okay.
There's
I
no
was
karate in
offended.
it.
Oh God.
There's no
I was
Japanese
offended.
style karate.
I can't. So here's the thing. I will say this. We rank, we put like 60, 70 movies sometimes on these things. And so I can't remember what voted out Karate Kid. It could have very well been a better movie than Karate Kid. But it was the fact that fundamentally speaking, that this movie even made it further. And I couldn't understand how anybody.
Send me a
Good
link
night,
to
Carmen.
this because I really
Yeah, I'll go look for it. And yeah, I'll share it in our texts or in our Twitter.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
love to know that.
I really need a good laugh today.
No, I will, and you'll hear me. You will hear me talk about wet paper bag meet Jaden Smith. It is his nemesis in every movie. You put him in a wet paper bag and say, "Okay, act."
All
And
right.
he's going to die. He's going to suffocate in the wet paper bag.
Okay, can we
Can't get
talk
out.
about Cobra Kai now?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So
Why
before we go-
don't we just?
wait, hold on. Before we go any further, I want to say, because I opened this up and I didn't get Chris's take. When we opened up, I said this has been like a long journey. Me and Justin Proper have done this for a long time, and it kind of feels surreal. We're finally on the
Mhm.
Cobra Kai section. Chris, I want to hear about your journey with this. How do you feel now that it's over? I do feel satisfied with the way things wrapped up, but it kind of feels surreal to me. I'm still expecting the next season to come out. Like, I still kind of got that feeling like we're going to be back at this next year, but it's over.
I
It's really
feel
done.
I feel like here's my side of this. I am still anticipating the next movie that they're talking about making, and I know they say it's not going to connect back to this, but I'm like, how can it not? Because unless it's some sort of a in between 3 and season 1, how can it not tie or even involve any of this? Unless it happens like right before Cobra Kai, maybe it goes into Cobra Kai. But I can see the surreal side. I'll say this. I mean, I loved all the seasons, but the last few they're good. They're really good, but they just got a little crazy.
Why don't
Hold on. He's asking me a question because I haven't been here for your guys' love fests.
That's fair.
The first 3 seasons, to me, really felt grounded into the first and third movies, and all the seasons still have ties. It works really well. I mean, this is an amazing. For as long after as it happened, for them to pick this up and be so true to the original movies, it's a testament. It was done right. Again, I don't know if I like the final 3 seasons as much as the first 3, but they're all really good.
Oh yeah, we ended strong. That was my biggest fear. At least we landed the plane, and so I get that feeling. But yeah, let's go to ranking Cobra Kai season 1. I don't know who kicks this off, but
that's gonna be me.
Go ahead, kick us off.
I'm gonna take
Obviously,
this one.
you have already said it.
Well, and we were shooting a movie in my little house in West Hollywood, and I was still very mad about Star Wars because I had a lot of high hopes for that shit. Like I really thought that was gonna.
We were all young and
then I hear about this little thing on YouTube called like this cute little project called Cobra Kai, but it had Ralph Macchio in it, and it had Billy Zabka in it, and I remembered that How I Met Your Mother episode, and that one guy, J. Matthew Turner, who had a brilliant analysis on the first, Karate Kid, and I really was fascinated on how they were gonna handle it, and I managed to binge it in a night or two. I was up very late, like watching it. It was ridiculous. But it was so worth it. I was like, this is the best show that I have ever seen. And it is one of the few shows, like, I can imagine what it's like discovering Breaking Bad for the first time, or The Sopranos. Like, this is
That's fair.
fucking gold mine. And I'm never watching those shows. I'm not.
You're depriving yourself of great television.
I don't want to do it. It's already ruined. Both of those are ruined for me.
It's not ruined.
So no, people gave away what the fuck this shit was about. Same with The Walking Dead. No, thank you. I'm not going to do it. But I was so lucky. I feel like I was so lucky to get into this show when it first started, and got to see the hype like throughout the years, and be involved in the hype, and even get to meet some of the cast, and get to meet some of I got to meet Martin Kove, which was amazing, and I got to meet Tori.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, Zod.
I fucking hate you, just so you know. I don't know if you heard our reviews, but Tori is my right chick. Bitchy is as crazy as Tori in some senses, so I guess I have a type.
Well then.
Well, with all that being said, I mean, I think there's an argument for the best around.
I mean, we're not there yet, but let me just chime in here and say I 100% agree. If this isn't All Valley, I don't know what is. This is not only an example of this show is kind of, to me, what the MCU did for Marvel properties. The not now, but when it was first started, the idea of taking something old and molding it and crafting it, and while respecting the legacy and the history behind it, and still introducing us to a different set of characters and a different world, while incorporating what we know and love. Like, this is what half of these writers are trying to do now, when they're, and I'm just going to say it, appropriating our shit and ruining it. This is the gold standard. Like, I honestly, in my heart and soul, feel like we lived through something we won't see again, or at least not done right. Now, don't get me wrong, Daredevil Born Again is pretty fucking good, and that's probably going to be on my top list. But this is like the template for taking a beloved property, understanding what it is and what fundamentally makes that property great, and then saying, okay, I got a few ideas. Now, they took big swings over the years, and I don't even hate them for it. I kind of respect it. Like, not all of it works, but they never get out of what made the show great. Even at the end, like, we'll get to the newer seasons, and I got my gripes, but this right here just hit everybody out of nowhere and became a fucking cultural phenomenon, and revitalized a series that I think is great and deserved to be brought back into the spotlight. And just as a martial artist, it means a lot having something that really honors and respects the legacy. So I agree with Justin. This is All Valley. This is like what we talk about when we're talking about great television.
Yeah, I mean,
writing,
I even said it is the best show on television to Martin Cove's face, like, and that felt very good. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like, and I said, like, it was the blueprint for how you, as you said, revitalize a franchise, or like I said, any continuation of a franchise, like, take notes, and not to name any names, but a lot of them were disappointing. And, you know, and it makes you think, like, what makes a show like Cobra Kai succeed in preserving and expanding on its universe where so many others have missed the mark. And they all said it comes down to the writing, and it comes down to John, Josh, and Aiden, who are the creators, like, who they even said like would do it.
I would say it's even beyond the writing. I think you feel the passion in the writing too, like, because some of the lines don't always land. Some are corny.
Everyone involved just wants to give a good product, and that's it. Like, not like a silly money grab, but to actually tell a story that's like worth telling. And what was more worth telling than the Karate Kid? I mean, if you had told me like 20 years ago, like, hey, 20 years ago, Zod, we had a bet, like, out of Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, or whatever this shit, we're gonna make a bet, like, who has the best franchise in 20 years? The fucking Karate Kid.
I don't even know if that would have entered the bet.
I would have lost.
I mean, you're talking Doctor Who. I would argue
money on that.
Watch that collapse.
No, what, the fucking Karate Kid is the best one? Are you kidding me? And what a blessing it's been.
Amen to that, Chris. What do you think?
Have I talked about Jurassic Park yet?
Christ. Yes, you already did your Jurassic Park. Everybody gets one.
Just glow.
So yeah, there isn't a more natural successor. And again, I hate that this is a TV show. I would have much rather to see 6 movies, but I get it. It's streaming days. We're in a different world, whatever. How you can craft something like this, and I think Justin said it very well, that so, I don't know. I mean, it's almost like a clone rather than a child. It's almost like they went in and pulled the DNA and made it an exact copy and said, we're only going to age it, though, 30 years. 40 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hell of an analogy. I could get behind that. It is literally like, it's just like, okay, Karate Kid 3 happened because, of course, we're ignoring the next Karate Kid anyways. See my rant from earlier. But
yeah,
it's almost like you said, okay, after Karate Kid 3, what happened? Boom. Skip ahead.
And
now let's tell the story. Like, they never lost the beat. They never lost.
It makes sense. You can see. Because here's the thing. One of the worst arguments for the first Karate Kid movie is that Daniel was the one at fault. If you've ever seen the video, if you haven't, I'll find it. I'll send it to you.
I'm gonna say, as a villain, I agree that Daniel was at fault. But anyway,
but he's not. He's not, because
Johnny clearly showed his case. Johnny was the victim.
No.
Stole his chick.
No. You see, there's the problem. You say no. Listen, wait, no, stop. You say he stole his chick. He didn't. They were broke up, and he even says that. That's my ex-boyfriend. That's high school. Grow up, deal with it. But the fact is that he is the aggressor after that. Daniel tries to defend her. Then he's the one that, and from that point on, he continues and continues. Hey, there may be a case to say he shouldn't have gotten in the way, but she's flirting with him. So it's not. I hate that argument. It's a stupid argument. But my point. But wait. But the point here is he is a bit of a pompous ass. Daniel is a bit of a pompous ass in the movies. And he plays it perfectly in the first season. Or he plays it perfectly in the whole all of seasons. But he does have that I'm entitled feel.
Yep. And he plays it well to where you still like him.
So now that he's been on top, now that he's won the 2 All Valleys and all this other stuff, now that he's the guy and he has all this stuff, he kind of acts like, he has the big house, he has the wife, he has the kids, he has his little dojo that he sits there and he still does his stuff and all that. It just feels right. It's like he just has lost sight of the things that Mr. Miyagi has taught him in the sense of humility. And he's become this not big time, let's just put it this way. He's become the minuscule local celebrity because he owns the car dealership. And then on the other end, you have the kid who had everything, had the money, was part of the country clubs and everything, and now he's lost. He's lost. He's become basically Kreese. He is that character. He's lost everything. He's down on the dumps. He's doing whatever he can to get by. He's still living in high school because he's driving the sports car and all this stuff, and it makes sense. He's the kid that peaked in high school.
Just piggyback off of that for a second, because in my eyes, the first set of Karate Kid movies are about Daniel, but I think where this works and why people accept this is because even till the ending, and I'll get to last season, part 2, which is why I told Justin purposely make sure they're broken up. We're not doing them as one. There's part 1 and part 2, and they are very different quality. It makes sense to cap it off with Johnny and LaRusso because at the end of the day, this story is not about Daniel. And I think a lot of people don't really see that. This story is about Johnny's redemption. Like, yes, Daniel is coming back to himself, but he never really lost much to – it's more of an internal turmoil with him. But this is a story about Johnny Lawrence. This is a story about a man who lost everything and through teaching somebody like Mr. Miyagi, in a sense, it's kind of flipped that way, only with the Johnny style, he redeems himself and he finds his place in the world. This is a complete, total Johnny Lawrence story. This is the best way you could have picked it up. What character are you going to use? Well, Daniel's already on top, so you got to use the guy who lost.
But it's important. You see, they could have made this series work without Ralph Macchio. They could have.
But I think with him, the dynamic is so great.
Exactly. It helps it so much. They could have, but you're absolutely right. This is not about Daniel. This is about Johnny. And you're absolutely right about that. But this definitely is All Valley.
Oh yeah, All Valley, without a doubt. I think we could all agree. I don't even think there's a viewer who wouldn't say All Valley. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, just 100%. It's gonna be so tough to rate the best around because I'll be honest.
On to season 2 now. Season 2, holy shit. Chris, I think it's you, but
well, again, it puts. I guess the hardest thing to do with so you called this the best show on television, and let's be honest. There's television, there's streaming. This is streaming. This is not television. There's a reason people won't tune in. I don't understand why. I mean, people did tune into this, but this is too good for television. It's too smart for television.
100%.
She's smart for television,
but I don't think you could do this story as a movie. To your point, it'd be
well. I think exactly. This is kind of like taking. This is why I'm not sure what we're gonna get, but this is why I'm excited for the Harry Potter series. The books being told in series, on HBO Max. Like when that happens,
I will get.
Well, I hope. I hope they can do all of it because I think it'll be done. There's a lot of stuff missing from the movies. I love the movies, but there's a lot of stuff missing from the movies that I'm hoping they catch up. Yeah, but they did a good job. That's because Rowling was there to help. This is important. This is what you need to add. This is what can be dropped. So, but I'm looking forward to that. But that's the exact same type of thing as this. Okay.
But your point being is that this is better than television. Like this far.
This can't be done on television. This is not for a television audience because
not traditional.
Here's the hardest. Exactly. Here's the hardest thing. Even harder than doing what they did from the movie to the first season is continuing the narrative that you built into a second season and then adding something to continue to build the narrative into it that then continues to tell a bigger story. And it's difficult to do this. And the thing and the testament to this series is that they did it for 6 seasons, or to your point, Zod, 7. If you want to count the 6, that's the 2 parts, which I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. But adding Kreese in here and that dynamic between him and Johnny, where funnily enough, Johnny has kind of become kind of like how Kreese was in 3. And we see parallels and all this stuff gets built into it. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. And I would probably put it in All Valley again.
All I gotta say, and Justin has heard my arguments between LaRusso's kid that I fucking hate and Tori. Tori is my girl. I knew when Tori was introduced that she was gonna be my character. She has had the best arc of the show besides Johnny. Full stop. No discussion. The actress, Danielle Spelling, I think is her name, is amazing. I'm not watching High School Spirit. That's on Amazon with her. Fucking phenomenal. If you guys aren't watching that show, check it out. She's great in that too. The best line of any season, full stop, is, "Hey, bitch, I'm coming for you." Fucking let's go. I still get jazzed.
No, I believe the line was,
when I watch that
coming
scene,
for
I'm like,
you,
you can
bitch.
get that fucking line, 2-time cunt who can't make up her fucking mind about what guy she wants. I want Miguel, I want Robby. Pick a goddamn lane. Fucking A++, All Valley, no question.
Yeah, but the consequences.
Amazing.
Consequences.
That line is one of those perp-minded comes on the channel. He said there's some movies and TV shows he says has quotables, right? A line in the show or the movie you remember. That line to me, every time.
I'm coming for you, bitch.
Bitchy Unicorn does not like this show. I know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sad too. But
she didn't tell me that.
Oh, yeah. She even told you. She does.
How?
I'm sorry. Proper. It's not her thing, guys. She's just not into karate. It's ridiculous.
She neglected to mention that to me. So because of her dishonesty, she loses twice as many brownie points as she normally would have.
Anyways, no. It's just she gave it a shot past what you said, but she just can't get into it. It's not her thing, and I get it.
I don't
this
care.
show isn't gonna land for everybody. But
I need therapy after this.
But one thing she did agree with me is that the LaRusso kid's a little bitch, and she did like that scene. And she was telling me, like, yeah, I totally get it. Like, she stole her man, essentially, being Miguel. They were broken up. She stole him. I know it's high school bullshit, but yeah, I'm in the drama now. She stole her man and all of this other shit. And how there is still an argument how Tori is the bad guy of this, I can't for the life of me fucking understand. Because literally, she got fucked by everybody. So, yeah. But still, All Valley. That has nothing to do with
the announcements, you
All Valley.
Idiot.
It's a great season. And
no. Chris,
okay,
Chris, break this up, please.
What?
Go ahead. Talk about season 2.
I already did. I started. And I agreed with him.
Yeah, we're on season 3 unless you're...
Don't tell me you don't think this is All Valley. Don't tell me.
Look.
Oh my God.
Do I think...
Oh my God. He's going to fuck this up, Zod. He's going to fuck this up. He's going to Jaden Smith Karate Kid this.
This is the perfect follow-up. Like the ending alone shows consequences. I flip back and forth between season 1 and 2 as my favorite.
Yeah, I agree. We had our ranking. Go check it out. You can see me and
All Valley. What do you mean fuck this up?
I think we should do. I think one of the things we should try to find time for, if we can, and we'll have to plan. To me, I'll have to definitely plan it. But I would love to do, and I know we're not done with this ranking. I would love to do a full-on watch through minus wet paper bag Jaden Smith.
Oh yeah,
Karate Kid 1 through 4 to Cobra Kai through.
Oh yeah, full watch along. I'd be down for that.
I mean, but not all at one time, but just take it one at a time, and then we can talk about each movie or each season.
I would love that.
I would love that, yeah. And we can burn through a full season of Cobra Kai because they're only like half-hour episodes. We could get through one season if we started during the day.
Yeah, we can jump in and then give quick points after each episode, and then a full breakdown of the season afterwards. If
we had nothing to do, it would take us a week. If we had nothing
absolutely.
to do.
And I might be able to find time here and there, but
I think this is more of like a month long, or probably maybe a little.
That's okay. I need content, and besides that, there is one thing I'm doing Daredevil Born Again watch alongs, so that does take a little bit of time, and I also have to critique Reacher. I only did the first 4 episodes, which is fucking fantastic this season. They are really nailing the last book. This season might be my favorite over season 1. We'll see how they end it if they stick with the book, but so far this is pretty close to the Persuader. For those of you who read Lee Child's original works, this is probably the closest that they've ever adapted. But anyways, let's continue to season 3.
Where does he put it? Oh, he put it up in All Valley too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think we can all.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then Cobra Kai season 3. Ooh,
who's up for this?
Oh boy, I think that's you, Zod.
Oh boy, so I'm gonna disappoint a lot of people because Justin already knows where I'm going with this from doing the rankings, and now look. Me and Proper had a lot of the same complaints.
Look how fucking silly this poster is.
That is silly, but I love it. I always love the artwork.
It's perfect for the series.
I love the artwork for the posters.
Okay.
Hey.
Bonsai scarf.
Justin, I have limited time now.
Okay, so we're almost done. So let me just say, for this one, I might disappoint some people. I don't think it drops in qualities, but I did not like certain storylines. They only very vaguely introduced Silver, which was amazing. But I think the biggest thing that hampered this for me was Miguel's recovery. I think that should have been stretched out just a little bit longer. It felt like there wasn't as much of consequences, like maybe have him get better in season 4. Or something like that, make us really think about, because 2, that last shot, I remember thinking for like a whole year, like, holy fucking shit, like, what are we coming back to? What's the dynamic going to be? And they kind of sweep it under the rug within 3 episodes. And I understand the montage. It was cool having him tap his foot during the concert. I get all of that. But it felt like it wasn't as to the quality of the first 2. So I would put this in high silver spoon. It's just not quite All Valley. I have a lot more issues with this season that I did too. And I think it was I think it was just I think some of it meandered a lot. Like, I could really feel some parts dragging. There's some things. I mean, it did have one of the saddest scenes. This was the season where one of them died, right? In Johnny's crew, because
that was season 2.
See, that was in season 2. So yeah, this This season is really hard for me to remember, and I just
you know what? I can make it very easy for you. I'm gonna put it in honorable trash.
Wow.
I would say Silver Spoons. Honorable trash is harsh. Like I wouldn't go
Just because
that low. I just don't see it at
reason,
peak.
one
Like,
reason only. You know what the
Wow.
reason is. Wheelchair Miguel. Too
I
fast.
knew you were sensitive about that, but god damn, I would put it in honorable trash.
Honorable
I
trash.
All right, all right.
That's low.
Okay,
I think it's
So-
about 8.
I think we've come up with the impetus of what the third season's about. It's primarily Miguel's accident, is it not? I mean, it kind of all leads up to it. It happens around it, and yes, there's other things that go on. But that's the thing. Either you buy it or you don't like how it's handled, or like you said, Zod, it happens to his recovery's too quick. Justin says he doesn't like the wheelchair. I agree with all that.
I loved the wheelchair.
No, he wanted more wheelchair.
You wanted more?
Yes, I wanted him to do karate, like from a wheelchair with like a long stick or something like that.
Yeah, he had this whole thing down. Don't ask him about it.
Okay, anyways.
Yeah. I love wheelchair Miguel.
I totally agree with Zod. It's not as much of a drop off as it could have been. Silver's very, I don't know. I think Silver's it's a good tease when they bring him in. It's done right. It's done right. And again, here's the thing: where Karate Kid 3 gets things wrong with Silver, this gets it right. And I think you said that earlier when we were talking about Karate Kid 3.
Yeah,
and again, I just can't stress enough. And all seasons, no matter how good or bad the season is, if you take it in totality with other things that have tried to do what this has done, this is Everest. This series is Everest. It is the tallest. It is the best. It is the hardest thing to attain and reach and try to measure up to. And no matter how bad a season is, and when I say bad, I don't mean bad. I just mean no matter how bad the season is, it's still great. This is no less.
We said the worst.
This is no less.
Cobra Kai is still better than the best episodes of all this new shit that comes out. Like on a bad day, Cobra Kai is still great.
This is going to be Silver. This is going to be same as yours, Zod. High Silver Spoons. And give me just a second. I got to get my phone charged before it dies on me. So I'll be right back on mute. I'll be right back.
Yep. So Silver Spoons it goes over the next Karate Kid.
No, I would have to say they're both. Well, no, they're both kind of tied because they both.
Cobra Kai.
I had that one.
Cobra Kai. Tori. Cobra Kai.
I don't know. They're both. I don't give a shit. What's the next one?
Cobra Kai season 4.
Season 4 now.
That's when we finally got Terry Silver, and I just have to say that it was a huge step above. Like once you introduced Terry Silver, all bets were off. Like, and once Terry Silver was introduced, like it's like you had Emperor Palpatine finally there. Every scene from season 4 through 5 was like I was on high alert, high tension. I don't know what the fuck this psychopath is going to fucking do, but he's going to fuck somebody shit up. It's going to be very stressful. I'm getting secondhand anxiety just by his presence. It's elevated to the All Valley. Season 4.
I'm going to
Just
say
because
for
of
me,
that.
I think even over season 5, because there's some things we'll get into season 5 that drops it down for me. Season 4, I would put in All Valley as well. I think season 4 is also great because you're still on the fence about Silver's villainy, whereas in season 5 he's just all bad. But I believe wasn't it season 4 where no, they didn't have the tournament. That was until 5. I think 4, when you just start to see him and he's got this mentor thing, the way he plays everyone, creases are arrested. We'll get to 5 for my once again 5. I had a lot of little dips here and there, but I think that 4 was really great in that they introduce him in 3, but 4 is where they really sort of like full throttle. Well, not full throttle, but he's in, and I think 4 plays the mystery because we don't really know what his angle
Right.
is, and I think he plays it very well, all the way up till that ending where he just fucks everybody over and gets Kreese arrested and takes over, and Johnny's kicked out, and he's at his lowest. And yeah, I think 4 was really great for setting him up as like
That was a really good Empire Strikes Back
moment, yeah, and it forces a lot of things that we'll get to in 5. But I think,
yeah, but yeah, this is in the top tier for sure. While we wait for Chris, 5.
5 is an interesting one for me. I like a lot of aspects of it, but there's a couple of things that I'm still kind of iffy about. Like, so season 5, I can't remember. 4 is when he took over. 5 is I like the thing with we don't know whether or not Tori won legally. I pause it. I swear to God she did that kick, but it looked like either way he had it rigged for her to win the match. I think personally she would have won it with or without his interference. But this is like I like the certain aspects where it kind of loses steam for me is a couple things in the final episodes. I like the battles. I do not like that they did not take out Chosen. I like people could call me a heartless bastard, but given what they do with him the last 3 seasons, I felt like this was a great natural end. And how we talked about this, I believe this would have been an even a great point to kind of stop, and they kept on going. So I don't know. Which makes me very conflicted about this. I would definitely say this is a silver spoons for me. I just can't get to All Valley. Like it's great. It's still top tier. It's right below S, but I just can't get there to S tier, man. Like like seeing everything in retrospective and knowing where the story is going. I felt like this would have been a better endpoint, and this is where I say I feel like Netflix kind of stuck their hand in. They wanted more, and they stretched out a story that had a good ending, but it could have ended much better with just like Terry Silver being defeated. Cobra Kai is done. Like, I don't know, man. I always felt like this is kind of where we start to go way off base. Like, Chosen should have fucking died. Like, that'll
Okay.
all annoy me about this season.
So where are we at? We still at 4?
Yeah, give us your rating for 4. We put it up at All Valley because that was when we had the full introduction.
Yeah. What do you
Over
think?
and the beginning of his takeover.
I'm just gonna start with saying this. Season 4 is a big what the fuck
Oh
in a
yeah.
good way.
Oh yeah.
In a good way.
Yes, it's perfect.
So I think we talked about this. So you guys were probably on season 3, I think, when I started watching this series because I had to binge it really quick. So there's a lot of stuff I kind of, I really rushed through and stuff. But literally in episode 1 of this whole thing, like there's certain parts, like in movies, if I'm trying just to get through to do a review or go onto a stream and talk to people about it, I'll go like in a movie and when it gets a little slow and I'm like, okay, this really didn't have much to the plot or anything. I hit I just kind of fast forward a few seconds and see if try to get to the next thing really matters. I couldn't do that in this. I couldn't because it was like most of this season was a bunch of wait, I can't. Here's an example. When you see the 2 trains on the same track going toward each other, and the wreck's coming, and it's going to be bad, and there's going to be mass casualties and carnage and craziness, but you just stand there and you're like, I can't not watch this. That's season 4 in a nutshell.
Oh yeah,
I think.
100% agree. 1000%. I think we're all in the agreement. This is all Valley.
Yeah, I agree with you, all Valley. I'm going to say this right now. I don't know how you guys feel about this. I'm just going to say this kind of. I know Justin's already gone past this, but I don't feel there's one season that goes below All Valley or Silver Spoons. I feel like they're all there.
I'll get to 1, but yeah.
Well, that's if you consider splitting season 6 up into.
We'll get there. Don't jump ahead. Let's just save our thoughts for that. We all know we're gonna have a lot.
We're almost there. We're almost there.
Yeah.
All right, 5.
So 5.
Right. So it's all 4 is going into All Valley, and 5. We've discussed this, and well, Chris, I'll let you go, and.
I said Silver Spoons, just so you know, Chris. I started just because of certain aspects of the final 2 episodes.
Yeah, but it's your turn.
Well, okay. So let's see here. We have a prison escape. We have a rig tournament. We have whatever the fuck's going on with the love crap. It's just constant. Like I think they did a really good job with Terry Silver, and you said it earlier with Karate Kid 3. Watching the series helps Karate Kid 3 in so many ways. Again, when we ranked Karate Kid 3, I really only give it a mark down for its inability to really play with the themes it was trying to use. And that's not the fault of the actors. It was the fault of just not quite sticking the landing. You can appreciate a gymnast's routine, but you're still going to get a pretty high mark down if they can't stick the landing. Let's just be honest. That doesn't mean you don't say, hey, that was a great routine. So that's again, that popcorn flick that Karate Kid 3 is. Season 4 and season 5 is the next Olympics for that gymnast where they stick the landing every time. That doesn't mean that it's perfect in the sense of the whole routine, but the way that they use Terry Silver's character works well. And again, this has a lot of what the fuck moments, same as season 4. And I think I can agree with high Silver Spoons on this one.
Yeah, I'm about there. I'd go high Silver Spoon. Because
where'd you put it, Justin?
I mean, I thought about putting it in All Valley, but You know, if this was the last season, all Valley all the fucking way. But then they added in that line of the Sekai Taikai and all that bullshit. And, oh, we're gonna do season 6.
Well,
and they
but to
we
your
were
point,
thinking of
to
the
your
wrong.
point,
but
wait, but to your point,
this season.
hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
To your point on season 5, I think the idea is, well, it's kind of like season 3. It just has a mark down, and it's like that lull point. There's a lot of good things going here. I think Terry Silver's used very well, but it loses the momentum of season 3 to 4, and it's more of, okay, we've seen the antics, we know this is what he is, and it continues that line, and it's very well done. It's not quite that All Valley feel. It's not that perfection.
Well, the two things that really changed for me is, one, he almost fucking kills Chosen, and if they killed Chosen, I think that would have.
I think, yeah, I still think to this day
that would have been All Valley.
It would have felt like there was more weight, more consequences. Like,
yeah, because we missed that after season 2 and season 3. Like when Wheelchair Miguel got out of the fucking wheelchair, that's when I thought that, like, that's the last time that there were real consequences for the heroes. There are no consequences for the heroes afterwards. Like, there's like.
Well, but wait.
Wheelchair Miguel and post Wheelchair Miguel.
Okay, hold on.
And that's and Terry Silver tried, like, they really tried to, like, amplify that up, but it really didn't pay off in any way. Especially when I was really hoping in season 5 that someone would bite the dust. Like, someone is gonna fucking suffer for these drunk idiots like Mike Barnes, Johnny Lawrence, Chosen, and then Daniel was just like there for the ride, just like, what the fuck are we doing? No, this is a bad idea. Let's not do it. No. There's such high tension, and one of these drunk idiots, like, they're all doing this while they're drunk. Like, by the way,
he was in his right to kill one of them too,
ecstasy or something. Like, they're on more than just like taking a few Coors Banquets, like a couple of 6-packs, like, that's nothing. Like, and the fact that they survived that, and I mean, someone should have died there, and it would have. Oh my gosh, it would have. It's like a make or break sort of moment, but it is what it is, and I was thoroughly disappointed with the fact that they didn't decide to take a risk like they did in season 2, the YouTube days, if you will.
Wait, time out.
What?
Wait.
Silver spoons.
Okay. All right. I see that. Okay.
Above season 3.
What?
I can live with that. I think that's fair because we all voted Silver Spoons. I think, yeah,
definitely above the next Karate Kid, but
yeah, unfortunately, I would say, as much as I love that, and I put in an All Valley, at the end of the day, yeah, Cobra Kai's on a different level when we talk about the writing. But then again,
well, I think the problem with the next Karate Kid is it doesn't have all the fingers into everything that Cobra Kai has. And that's nothing against the next Karate Kid. It's just strictly,
it's like a Simpsons truth. 4 fingers, where he's like, humans have 5.
No, I would put it as
they have 10.
Wait, whoa. I would put it as oh boy, where would I put this? I would put the next Karate Kid as the Enterprise series for Star Trek. It works well.
Good.
I love it. I love it.
It's just
but
not
it's still outside of it. It's still outside of it. It doesn't have all its fingers playing in everything else. So no, I don't disagree with that. I'm good with that. Okay. So we're on season 6, part 1, or
Yes.
No, it's got
wait,
because according to this,
Season 6, part 1.
wait. Why do we have
what
3
is
left?
the thing at the very end?
Part 1, part 2, part 3.
Oh, that's right, because it was 3 parts. That's right. Okay, so
Well,
part 1.
okay, all right. I'll give you that. Okay.
Yeah, and I think they should be rated as such. I'm gonna start this because they marketed it first as parts, so it's subject to that. And 2, there is very different quality to each of these parts, and I'll get to it when you see where I put them on the tier list. But part 1, I'm gonna say it's honorable trash, and the only reason why it even makes it into honorable trash is for one reason and one reason alone. The one factor that saved this first part for me. The only thing, and Justin and PB and everyone knows this, and to a degree, you guys agreed with me. The one thing that saves this part for me not entirely hating it is the performance from the actress who plays Tori. And this is not okay. This is me being serious now, and not just saying because she's hot and I think she's the best character. The acting, literally, the last episode when she breaks down and cries, got me in such a way where I got chills from how fucking sad. I I paused it. I had to stop. I had to have a drink. I had to reevaluate things in my life. Her, the way she gives that scream and she does that primal cry and just is completely fucking broken after picking up the pieces and finally fucking finding her place in the group and starting to be her and cunt face, I'm sorry, LaRusso's kid. They finally come to a middle ground, even though she shouldn't fucking have to. She should, never mind. Anyways, but they're finally in a good place. She is finally in a good place with Robbie. Things are going good. And that one fucking moment. And I was waiting for it because I would have put this in Burt. But that one moment where I finally figured out where they were going with this part, where this was setting up what Tori was going to do in part 2, and it kept me interested because I was like, oh my God, they're fucking it up. Jesus Christ, this is going to be the Titanic. I had the feeling I had for the last season of the Game of Thrones for a minute. I was like, oh shit, we're going down. This is going to be a Dexter. God damn, they're going to fuck this up. But then I got it and I said, okay, Netflix did fuck with you guys because the writing for that scene was, I would argue, that one particular scene might be my favorite in all of Cobra Kai because the argument between Daniel and Johnny is so organic off of that part where you really know their worldview at this point. You know how they think. And now their argument in that moment actually makes sense. Like a lot of it felt like forced drama, but them arguing about how to grieve and Johnny being like, hey, you didn't lose parents like we did. You don't understand. And him like giving him the business. And that last episode cut so hard. And I almost want to give the season the benefit and put it top tier, but I can't because the rest of the episodes just weren't at that quality. But the last 2 episodes, holy fucking shit, man. It was just like,
I have a confession to make. Once again, I accidentally watched episode 5 first.
Yeah, because you thought it was great and couldn't see it until you went back through and watched them. Because he started.
And I was like, oh, they're recapping like everything that happened before, and then they're leading up to the moment. Oh, that's cool. But really, what I didn't realize was that I didn't fucking need those first 4 episodes.
I don't think you did either.
All. I didn't need them. That was it. That last episode was all I needed.
Like, that's why I'm saying it's bullshit.
There were only really
about made this one season with like 10 strong episodes, and that is my main issue with the last half.
Wait, Justin, finish that thought you just had.
So basically, I didn't need those first 4 episodes. So therefore,
No, you were about to say, I didn't need those first 4 episodes except
for the fact that except for the fact that no, I really didn't need those first 4 episodes. Except for maybe a little bit of backstory. But it could have been like 10 minutes long or something like that.
Okay,
It could have been.
Finish your points, and I'll go with my thing.
Yeah, I think you may have had a point that I might have explored or agreed with.
Okay, so where do you put it?
Well,
where do you put it?
I mean, just because it's a first part and the fact that I understood everything that was going on watching it for the first time out of order on accident.
Yeah.
Tells me everything I need to know about this first part. It's Taekwondo.
Wow. Really?
For 4 episodes being irrelevant.
Whoa. Time out.
Irrelevant.
Wow. Zod, where did you put it?
I put it in honorable trash. I wanted at least to tear up. I don't think it's C or D material, but I agree. Like, I don't give a fuck about the Miyagi stuff, to be quite honest with you. I thought it was terribly explored. I
know.
And it led to a horrendous CGI moment. We'll get to that.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
So
unfortunately, that goes into that TV series talk. Is that these streaming shows don't have the full budget for CGI, but they still want to play like they do.
I agree 100% with you, Chris.
Okay. Anyways, so you put it in honorable trash. He puts it in Taekwondo. I don't know. I just had a series, or we just had a ranking on Chaos Central with what was it? Oh yes, Sly Stallone. So Sylvester Stallone. Movies, and Demolition Man ended up winning out. And
as it should. I agree.
I disagree. And I was actually really pissed off. And I went on a tangent.
We had that argument. Let's continue about our ranking.
Wait. Let me finish. Let me just talk.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. That's funny.
I'm not saying that it should have won the whole thing. But Rambo First Blood to me, because of my father being a Vietnam veteran and knowing that, listen, my father didn't talk about his Vietnam experiences a ton. But I kind of gathered and picked up pieces here and there of it. And I was really distraught with the fact that movie didn't pull more weight for what it really did for Vietnam veterans. A lot of Vietnam veterans watch that show and that movie. And that movie is very slowly paced and not very action heavy. But it's a great bit of storytelling. Like Rocky is a great bit of storytelling. This first part of season 6 is truthfully a great bit of storytelling. And maybe I feel the same way, kind of like Karate Kid Part 2 with you guys, where you're not where I'm at with it. Do I need the first 4 episodes? Maybe not. But I don't necessarily need all 6 books of the Harry Potter series. But it's a great bit of storytelling. I think it has a story there. But the biggest part of the first part of season 6, when you get to the final episodes of it, is the story of what happens with Tori, is the fact that her mom dies, is all of that stuff. And by the time you get there, the weight of those last 2 episodes drops so hard. And you even talked about the Daniel and Johnny dynamic thing. That for a lot of the series, we play this at like it's a drama, like it's are they, aren't they? Is this going to happen? Is that going to happen, or whatever? But this kind of puts it in the context. And again, do you need the first 4 episodes? Maybe not. But by the time you get to the end of it, listen, some movies aren't great until that last 30 minutes, and then you're like, holy crap. Does that make the movie bad? No, it doesn't. I put this on the low end of Silver Spoons.
Well, this is going to be tough to rank then, because if we have a Silver Spoons, Honorable Trash, and a Taekwondo, someone's got to do the math on that.
It goes into Honorable Trash.
Yeah, I'd say
Because it's the
let's
middle
put
of
it
it.
high end. It deserves to be above the other ones, I believe.
I would put it in
No.
Karate Kid. I put it
Now,
Ugh,
now
it's a tough spread.
it's right where it belongs, right in the middle, because
wait.
Oh.
Okay, Zod, we're not going to listen to the little kid.
Yeah,
here.
we're talking about the Honorable Trash. I think Cobra Kai shouldn't go behind.
Would you put it above 3?
Yeah, definitely.
I would too. I would put it above 3. So
Yeah,
it goes above 3, but under 2.
I hate you guys because if
Right in the
it
middle.
was me, it would
No.
be
No.
Yeah,
no.
I know.
I
You know
would
it
be
would
that.
be. But hey, at least you got them all on the same line this time.
That's true. Okay.
All right, so let's go down. Because we're getting to
Part 2.
Part 2. Oh boy, who's starting this one off? I started part 1, so
I don't want to start part 2.
okay.
I barely fucking remember this part, except for, like, they tried to establish things, and it's like, blah, blah, fucking blah. These villains, blah, blah. It would have been great if we knew them years ago, but we don't.
Okay.
They're new characters, and I'm not digging it. And then,
so you're doing the Taekwondo.
And then finally, after years of waiting of the wheelchair Miguel bullshit, and no consequences, finally we get consequences. Somebody dies, and it's somebody we don't even fucking know. And you know who it should have been? You know who it should have fucking been? You know who it should have been? Kyler. Kyler should have been the fucking one who died.
Why do you want to kill Kyler? I love Kyler. I'm glad they left him.
Kill him off. Kyler, in place of Quan, you have fucking stakes.
No,
you have somebody that we've seen through season 1, like going through all that. It's great that they gave him a happy ending instead. Haha, that's awesome. But it's great to have a villain throughout the entire show. Like,
but he wasn't really a villain throughout that. Okay, we
antagonist.
If you guys want to see an extended Kyler rant, go check out our review. Just fucking place it.
Yeah. So,
and the wife's coming home.
But instead, you have fucking nobody, and it's worthless to me. Just on principle, just from that alone. I mean, you tried, but you tried too late.
Interesting.
Only because of the narrative disagreements that I have. And if I were a writer, I would have made that change. And it would have significantly impacted it.
I don't think.
Taekwondo don't.
I knew he was going to do that.
It's because of my personal disagreement with that narrative choice. And that's why.
I think you're missing the point of it. Is it my turn or is it Zod's turn?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Okay. I think you're missing the point here. So we've come to the conclusion this is more about Johnny than it is Daniel. And so therefore, and I'm not going to call Johnny what I'm about to talk about here. I'm not going to call him that per se. Cobra Kai is more about the villains than it's about the heroes. Johnny doesn't quote unquote fall in there, but here we are in the in the second part of season 6, where we're at the tournament, and again, it culminates in this death. I think the important thing here is the dynamic with Kreese, with Silver, with Johnny, Daniel, all the things going on around us here. Kreese tries to kill Silver, loses the knife. The knife kills.
No, this isn't. Yeah.
Quan. I remember because he's
Quan.
so fucking irrelevant.
Yeah. Exactly. He's irrelevant, but I don't think that's the point. The point is that we see the chaos causes the problem. And this is a relevant term in the whole Karate Kid mythos. Going back, and again, because we have the problems with Mr. Miyagi brought up in all this, and I'm not a big fan
Tell
of
me you're not
how
100% sold on that, because I know you got to
I'm
feel
not.
how I felt.
Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of how they handle the Mr. Miyagi stuff in this. It's fine, whatever. Okay, we had to approach it at some point, I guess. Something had to come up with him because he's a part of this whole thing. I don't like how it's handled. I'm not a big fan of it. Whatever. I'm not even going to go into it. But the idea here is that in the mythos of Karate Kid, which Cobra Kai is a part of, Mr. Miyagi taught Daniel that calm, rational thinking, planning, reacting at the right time, or being proactive at the right time in your fighting, and all this stuff. The basically the ebb and flow of karate. It's a part of your life. It's a way of things. It's a yin and yang thing. I think the part at the end of part 2 of season 6 with the irrational thinking of Kreese trying to kill Silver with a knife, the knife in the brawl getting knocked out, and all this stuff happening, and killing, yes, an irrelevant character. But that's chaos, and that's exactly what Mr. Miyagi taught Daniel against. This is again another viewpoint. It's almost the Obi-Wan line from a certain point of view. We're seeing this from another point of view because as this series went on, it was very much it's about Johnny. It's his redemption arc. It's him becoming a more understanding person that he's still himself from the original series, but he starts to figure out the things that he's lost. So as almost irrelevant as the second part becomes, it's similar to the first part. The ending is very relevant to the mythos. Chaos throws your chi or your being out of whack. And that's the chaos of part 2. So again, I put this in Silver Spoon very low. I put it below part 1 because I don't think the death means anything in the grand scheme of anything, not like Tori's mom. But I put it down there. I would say it goes below part 1.
Okay, well, this is where we're probably going to clash. But look, before I get started, I want to say right off the top, before I say what am going to say, Chris, you bring up very great points in all seriousness.
Okay, yeah.
And I understand your perspective, but knowing the history behind Netflix and what they ordered for this show, and now more coming out about the behind the scenes, and I'm not factoring that into the rating, except for it directly is relevant to the show.
Yes.
This feels stretched out. Now, you could, even if we kept what you said, which I don't disagree, you bring up a very good point. I see ya, I can get there, but you don't need this many episodes. And I'm sorry,
No,
this feels like
I
straight
I don't
filler.
disagree.
And let's thank you. But it does feel like it feels like you're watching that trilogy and you kind of have the middle movie that's not useless, but it's not really relevant. You know what I mean? Like stuff happens, but
Mhm.
it's more of the setup for the third movie, kind of finishing off stuff from the first movie. I don't want to say like in Empire Strikes Back because that's relevant too, but you get what I mean. Like when you have the trilogy of movies and there's that one movie where it's just like, it was good, but it kind of just sets up for the last part. That kind of a feel. This to me, like I get what you're saying, and in the writing, I can see what you're going for. But once again, you're presenting this as a show. I'm rating it as a show. I'm examining it as its own separate part of a
Yep.
season
Mhm.
as they marketed it. I know it's one giant part, but it's supposed to be its own separate thing. This neither really sets up. And here's the biggest thing: I could have got behind the Quan thing, but it doesn't mean shit at that last part.
Sure.
And we'll get to the final part, which I'm going to
Sure.
rate higher, by the way. But it doesn't mean shit. So the fact of him even dying doesn't even bear anything to what you're saying to the story. It's just kind of like a blip. Like I get
Well,
if there's some deeper meaning, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels like we're spinning our wheels and filling things out. There's very like don't get me wrong. There's aspects that I like. I like some of the
mhm.
tournament stuff. I like the
Yeah.
creativity with the
Yeah.
matches. I like
Mhm.
the little training montage was funny. It kind of
Okay.
gave me Rocky vibes. I liked bits and pieces. Like I feel like if you pulled different episodes out and kind of rearranged them, we would have a perfect season, hands down.
Okay. Wait.
But
Before
because
you
it's
give
three
your.
separate parts,
Mhm.
each part suffers from A, I had to wait so long for the next part, and B, when I watched it together, it still feels janky. And this feels
Mhm.
the jankiest. And I hate to agree with
Mhm.
Justin Proper, but I
Mhm.
got to put in Taekwondo. This is my least
Okay.
favorite in Cobra Kai.
All right.
And
So
that's hard for me to say. And it's not saying
I,
it's
I'm
worse
gonna.
than the worst show
Wait.
out there. It's just saying for Cobra Kai quality, this is the very bottom for me. This is
Yeah.
like
Okay.
as
Okay.
bad as Cobra Kai ever got. And
Okay.
we'll get to the last part. But
I'm going to give you where I'm coming from, and when I say what I'm going to say, you're going to go, okay, I get your ranking. You ready for this?
hit me.
Three words. Three words. The Last Jedi.
Well, shit, you ain't convinced.
That's where I'm at with this. With a lot of people, people are like, no, this is point. I get again. This is where we started. We're gonna go way back when we first started doing this stuff. Mary Mayhem, all these people, Drunk 3PO, all that. I understand everything you just said. I
As
just
I
see it
understand it,
differently.
you said
I just see it
perfectly
differently.
makes sense.
And you and
100%.
I are not going to fight on that because it's not a matter of you're wrong, I'm right, or I'm right, or I'm wrong, you're right. It's just a viewpoint. I totally get it. Totally get it.
And you know what? I think this is one of those that when I was going back through my head, like, and trust me, I knew we were going to come to this, and I had to gather my thoughts, especially rewatching this. And it's
Yeah.
going to part three is probably going to shock a lot of people after the shit I talked about the first two parts. But it's just I kept on thinking like, man, if you just would have moved this to here, move that to here, switch this up a little bit, put this here. I think the most frustrating thing for me here is that there's a perfect season here, but it really feels like Netflix mandated, and I don't blame the writers because they wanted to end it in like a season ago. They went on record saying that. This really, and I believe them, feels like Netflix saying, we have the biggest fucking show. I don't care. You're under contract. We need this season stretched out. And this isn't the only show they're doing it with, because I'm a huge fan of You, and they made that fucking 2 parts for no fucking reason. The last season, like, there was no reason to break it up. And to get to your point, I think it's the streaming model that really starts to hurt this season. It's the platforms trying to find that way to keep us interested each week, but to still do the release format. And I think Cobra Kai, the final season, suffers a lot, because I think if you drop these all at once, I could kind of get over some of my gripes. But when I'm forced to wait and sit on a really shitty story angle or something, it's hard to pull that back, because
You
you've
could have
already
done this.
educated me.
You could have done this
That's where
first two.
I agree. That's
You
where
could
the
have done
last
this first two.
comes in.
You could have done. You could have done this first 2 parts in 5 episodes.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
4.
If you
4.
could have even kept all the same stuff in, and hell,
Yeah,
broken up 2 parts,
absolutely.
and leave us with
Yeah.
Kwan's death or
Yeah.
Tori's mother's death as the last cliffhanger, and I think.
Well,
it
you know
would
what?
be
You know
better.
what? I would have placed this in a weird way. I would have probably started with Tori's mom's death at the beginning of the first episode, and then kind of do a rewind,
Oh,
and then
yeah, that's a great idea. And then
and
go
then
back through.
and then go back through in episode 2. In episode 3, we jump into the matches. It's in part 2, and then we culminate in episode either 4 or 5 with the death, and then in a part. So that would have been part 1, and then in part 2 have part 3.
Oh yeah, I
I
100%
think
agree.
if they
It's
had
just for
handled
me,
that,
it's the
it
order
would have
of
been much better.
episodes. And that's why I'm at Taekwondo. It's not, and even putting it there, this is just comparing to other great seasons. It's not like I'm comparing this to another show, because if I compare this to another show, even in what I consider the weakest part, is still S tier compared to the shit that we have now. It's just for Cobra Kai. Oh, there he goes. Justin, where you at? Proper. Okay, so yeah, we have wheelchair Miguel down. um, y- yeah,
Sorry.
sorry. No, you're good. I'm wondering where Proper's at, because I think we've set up. I've been trying to drag it out.
Is
But
he asleep?
I hope not.
Proper. I didn't even realize he was gone. Well, I mean, we can go into part 2 or part 3. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can go into part 3 and then do the GOAT. But I guess I'll start this one out, because
You go ahead.
I'm going to say for part 3, I waffled, I debated, and then I thought about something. And there's a saying. It was actually from Five Nights at Freddy's, one of the games
What?
that ended it, supposedly. There's this character in the game, and he goes, writing's hard to do. The hardest part is not at the beginning of the story you tell, but the ending of the story. Everybody has an
Absolutely.
idea of what they want the ending to be, and no one will ever be satisfied with the ending you give them. And that rang in my head as I'm sitting here judging this. And I do think the first maybe 1 or 2 episodes had me nervous. But the last 3 episodes of this series, to me, not only land the plane, but why I didn't get all of the answers I wanted, the people that mattered that built this show got the endings I felt they deserved. And I think this was an amazing cap off. And I've never seen a show that has a rough beginning, rough middle, but fucking nails the ending. And
That
I
you're
would put
talking
this
about
in
is
all
this
value.
season?
I would put the season in All Valley. And honestly,
No. Wait, whoa. No, what I mean is you're talking about a rough beginning, rough middle is of this season of the three
yeah,
parts.
yeah,
Okay,
the three
cool.
parts. I've
Gotcha.
never seen a show that starts off rough, still is kind of rough, but then you watch the final episodes and you go, holy fuck, man, they were cooking. And
Mhm.
this last part makes me almost see what the plan was. I still feel like they were forced to stretch it and they didn't know what to put in the middle. But I see they had a direction they were going in. This doesn't feel like they threw it together. It feels like a very natural progression to the ending.
Mhm.
Everything with Johnny, the fucking All Valley shit, it all made sense. Now, him going against the guy I don't give a shit about, I don't know how I feel about that, but that isn't the point of that fight. It's Johnny finally getting over the bullshit. The whole, and this is where it made me have the eureka moment that this is a story about Johnny. Because honestly, Chris, I didn't come to that conclusion till the end of the show, where I was like, holy shit, this whole time I've been watching a story about Johnny Lawrence. Like, I got the idea. Like, I was like, oh, they're showing it from the bad guy perspective, but it never sunk in until the final episodes that, yes, this is a story about Johnny. The other characters don't matter about wrapping them up because this is not about them. They were
No.
just in it. They were the catalyst and they
Well,
had
and that's
important
the thing.
roles. But at
That's
the
the
end of the day,
brilliant
this is a
thing.
story about Johnny Lawrence and his redemption and him getting a family and being
But
better off and making friends with a person he never thought he'd be friends with and growing and finally and hold on, one more thing.
yeah.
And this is also works on the karate side because it finally takes two opposing styles, which Mr. Miyagi, if you watch the movies now, makes this ending more just terrific.
Absolutely.
They could never make balance between just Daniel teaching and just Johnny teaching. When did the
Nope.
balance come? When they got together, when two enemies became
Exactly.
friends and they saw each other's points of view, that's when they finally created the perfect style because one trains in fighting with Johnny and then they go to LaRusso for defense and then they have the balance. It's fucking beautiful. It's perfect. It's all Valley. It's the
Yep.
best ending I could ever hope for this. I'm sorry, continue.
No. I, you're absolutely right. This is all valid. Okay, so early on, I knew this about Johnny. This is in 6 seasons. What this is how I felt about Falling Down with Michael Douglas.
Oh yeah, great movie. I actually had Bitchy watch it. She loved it.
You are, and maybe it's not exactly that Johnny actually gains everything by the end, but it's that story of the person who you hated. Well, maybe I don't know. Not everybody hated him in the first
Oh no,
movie, whatever.
you were right. He was bitter. He was angry. He hated everyone. He was very
Everybody,
much.
but you hated the Johnny character, or that's where you should have been. I
Oh
think.
no, I'm a villain. I always saw it his way
Well,
from the first
I
fucking
understand.
movie.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is that it starts out where, okay, of course he's where he's at. Of course, this is where he's at in season one. Of course, a guy like Johnny's going to end up there because he can't get past high school, because he can't get past the fact that he lost the All Valley Championship to Daniel, all this stuff. And then you get here, and it's like, yes, like you just said it. The fact that it's not just Daniel. Daniel's he's a big part of this, but he's still a bit part.
He's the definition of a supporting cast member, and I
He
like
is.
the
He is,
fact
and it's
we didn't
beautiful
do
how they do
Daniel
it.
versus Johnny.
No, and that's the key. it's always fun to tease. They tease, they tease, they tease, they tease. They didn't do it. And then at the end of it all, they both kind of click and realize, okay, we're different. We know we're different, but but that doesn't mean we have to be at odds. And then you add the fact that Kreese realizes, because if you think about it, because unfortunately, I kind of wonder looking back if in Karate Kid 3, if they brought Johnny back, if that wouldn't have helped it.
I
It
mean,
would have been
that
it would have been an
I'm
interesting
actually glad
dynamic.
they didn't, so we could get
I
this.
get it.
But
I get
I'm
it.
there with you. Like,
I get it.
you had
Um,
Johnny and
but
Terry and
but
all of
you get
them.
but you get so in 3 you have Kreese and Silver joining, and then you get in this series Kreese wanting to kill Silver because of all the issues, and it, it's kind of a redemption arc for Kreese. Kreese wakes up and says, "You know what?" He almost he starts seeing the things Mr. Miyagi did in a sense, and says, I did this wrong by you. I should not have done the things I did to you, Johnny. Where you were at the beginning of the series was my fault, and I never came out and told you that it was my fault. I never took responsibility for this, and you learned all the stuff I should have learned by this point already. And so Kreese gets his redemption arc. Johnny gets his redemption arc. In a weird way, Daniel, through this whole series, gets a redemption arc. We have all these redemption arcs, but this is still a story about the villains.
Yeah,
But the
and
villains,
I think it's a
it,
story that does something that very few shows can do, where the villains aren't necessarily what you consider in most shows villains. They're people.
no,
They're
exactly. But
they're
that's
people
the thing.
who make mistakes. That's what the
That's what I'm
show.
saying. That's what I'm saying. This third part is, I'm just going to say this. It's not as good as Falling Down because Falling Down makes you root for Michael Douglas, who's the bad guy.
I don't know until you get to the end of it. Then it's kind of like, he
He
does
is
kind
the
of
bad
fucking
guy
lose
from
it
the
at
very
the end. But
beginning.
I
From the
see what
very
you're saying.
beginning. But
I
but
get his
this
justification
is
though.
the opposite. This is kind of like a reverse Falling Down.
Yeah, instead of the shooting everybody, he actually picks himself up. Like,
They all learn to pick themselves up. And again, you made a good point. It's about people. People aren't inherently good or bad. Their choices are good or bad. And at the end
and
of the day, at the end of the series, Kreese learns I made bad decisions. I have to own up to that. Johnny had made bad decisions, but he learns that I can become a better person. Daniel has made bad decisions, and he learns I can learn to work with the people that I disagree with. Everybody gets some sort of a redemption arc, except for Terry Silver. Um,
yeah, Terry was a lost cause.
yeah,
And you know
exactly.
what
But
though?
but but that's
Really
a good
quick.
point because again, you brought up the whole manic side of his character. I love it. I mean, it still works very well. But the point is that I mean, are we saying though here really quick? I'm gonna back off here. Are we saying that Terry Silver is the ultimate villain of the whole Karate Kid saga?
I would say he's the ultimate villain because even if you
Yeah.
look at the final scenes, right, and his
Mhm.
overall arc,
Yeah.
he, out of all of the villains, when you think about it, was actually in a good place. He, I think it was more of his downfall because I think inherently Terry Silver wasn't a bad guy, but Kreese brought that out. And I think he
Mm-hmm.
liked it and didn't want to acknowledge he liked it until he ran into Kreese. And he was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, now that I'm here, I'm going to do this because I'm good at it. And it really, and that's where the layers of the writing comes in for a fucking Karate Kid show. Who would have thought?
Get it?
Because that is now, yeah, Silver is ultimately, to me, a true bad guy. It's kind of
He's
like, and
the
I'm going to
villain
go
of the
back
whole
to the
thing.
comparison here. I don't know how many people have seen it, but if you haven't checked out Daredevil Born Again, watch the first 3 seasons and watch the show. Right now, they're doing a very interesting arc where the
Mm-hmm.
season is about Fisk becoming mayor of New York, and Daredevil, due to some events, stops being Daredevil. And it's
Mm-hmm.
exploring, can somebody who's a vigilante, who does it for very specific reasons, stop doing it and help people out by just doing a civil servant thing? And can someone who's
Mm-hmm.
pure evil take that and change? And it's kind of funny now we're talking about this, how much of that stuff I'm seeing in Daredevil that they're using that I feel like they might be borrowing from this, because it's very much the same template. And
I will agree because the original Daredevil Netflix series, yeah, the first 2 episodes so far,
dude, I fucking loved it.
they
I mean,
work
Justin's not
well.
on the mic,
They
but can
work
we just
well.
talk about the balls? I did not think Disney had the balls to do it, but
Oh no,
I,
no, 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 no. I believe they did because they did um uh now I have Daredevil in my mind. They did Deadpool.
yeah. I mean, so I'm seeing a lot of parallels now that we're talking Cobra Kai, and you brought up this Terry Silver thing. I'm seeing a lot of parallels there, but it's
Hmm.
kind of the same questions, right? When we get
Hmm.
only on a less deeper level, because I think Daredevil's more exploring that. I think that's going to be the focus of the season. But for this, it is underlined in the characters. Like, you have two villains who are redeemed, and you have a guy who perceives himself, that he made everybody perceive himself as a good guy, but ultimately, in the end, he was always fucking selfish and manipulative. So it's it's like yeah, this really, for me, All Valley, like, uh, and I thought about it hard, and I said, okay, for the ranking of seasons overall, I couldn't put it above other seasons, like when I was just comparing the Cobra Kai series. But if we're
Hmm.
talking this wide comparison,
Hmm.
like I said in the beginning, it's very hard to make a satisfying ending. And for me, this is as perfect of a cap off
Well,
to a
you
journey
you brought
that
up
you can ever have.
you brought up the fact that it's a very true statement. It's not so much the beginning of the story; it's the end. How do you end the story? And in this context of Cobra Kai, that's not an entirely true statement because the beginning of this series is masterfully done.
Oh yeah,
I would
yeah.
say, I would say, while I don't agree that the ending or in the context of this, the third part of season 6, I don't think it's as masterfully done as the
The
first,
beginning.
yeah, as the beginning. I will say that when the series ended, and going back to your statement, I don't know how I feel about it because I feel like I'm waiting for season 7, or my question is how is this going to tie into the Karate Kid? Was it called Karate Kid
Legacies
Legends Legacy or
or
whatever?
legends, legacies, whatever. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff out there that says it's going to tie into the movie. There's a lot of stuff that says it's not going to tie into the movie. I don't know. We're going to find out. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of no answers right now.
And I think
I
Justin fucking fell asleep or something, because, like,
I think he did. It's fine. It's fine. We're gonna finish this, and then we can always come back and ask him and finalize this in a quick 10 minutes.
Yeah, so
Here's the thing.
to
So
wrap it up, how about we do the GOAT one at a later date when he's
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But let me finish up with season 6 here, or part 3 here. This is not as masterfully done as the first part of this series, but it is masterfully done how they end it. And again, it's not about Daniel, it's about Johnny. And as much as I hate the fact that Johnny did the whole idea, because I read about this one before it came out, before they started, before the seasons came out, before anything was out. Uh, Ralph Macchio, and I'm trying to remember Johnny Lawrence's actor's name.
Zapka, William Zapka.
Yeah, they were sat down when this all came out. Hey, they're doing this, whatever. They said, so what is this about? And both Ralph Macchio and the Johnny Lawrence actor said, this takes the concept that Johnny was not the bully and runs with it. And I totally agree with it.
And I
I
totally
totally
agree.
agree with that. I
And
hate
here,
that idea. I don't agree with that idea. But the way the series runs with it works perfectly because Daniel LaRusso in this series plays that so well.
but here's the thing, though. Once again, you hit the nail on the head, and this is why this has been hotly debated since the show has come out about giving Johnny his props finally. For the Johnny Defenders for Karate Kid won the movie, because I was on the Johnny did nothing wrong train. But here's the thing that I want to say. I think we're both right, Chris, because it's perspective.
It
They
is.
were kids, as they bring up and they tease you when you
Mhm.
think that one person is right or wrong. They were kids practically in high school.
Mhm.
So actually, it's in essence, it's really a stupid fucking debate that starts everything,
Exactly.
and it really shows life. Because why do we hate? Like, dude, I can remember so many people I had beef with that I'm best friends with now. And in high school, we fucking hated each other, right? And you
Hmm.
sit back and you try to think about it, and that's the brilliance of this show. You sit there, and sometimes, I don't know, Chris, if you've ever had this experience where you think about you have a best friend, but maybe you didn't start off a friend or whatever, and you guys talk about the old days, and you're like, God, we were so fucking stupid. Like, I can't believe we were arguing. Like, that was why we didn't like each other. You know what I mean? And that's what the show feels like. It feels like this long running argument that they never sat down and just fucking had a conversation to see that they were both on the same end, In different ways, they both had a tough heart upbringing. And I think if they would have just gotten to know each other and Johnny really knew his situation, you're looking at a totally different course, which is kind of hinted to through most of the season. And even with the debates with the newer generations, and I know this annoyed people, but I think it's the point of the show. No one ever sits down and talks about certain things, which causes arguments. But that's high school. That's the young people. You could be beefing with someone for fucking months or years, and then you sit down and talk and go, "Oh, yeah, well, I guess they were kind of right." Like,
That is the essence of Karate Kid.
it's
These
really a big
people,
misunderstanding. The whole season series.
Daniel and Johnny have grown up, but they still have this petty difference. And then by the end of it all, they look at it and they're like, "Wait a minute, um, hmm, why?"
Yeah, you could even see moments where they're like, yeah,
Well,
if we would have just fucking sat down and talked, and see, in a sixth sense, that's kind of what makes it brilliant with now the younger drama, because I know
mhm.
I saw some of the critiques, right, and I get it. Some people would be like, oh, well, this wouldn't happen if they just sat down and talked, but that's the fucking point, right? Because
People
kids in high
don't sit
school
down
go,
and
oh,
talk.
if you have kids, you
Exactly.
know this shit is true.
Mhm. No, that's true. No, so we're gonna not tonight because we had to end this, but I'm gonna tell you a story that's in my personal life that in some weird, crazy way parallels this Karate Kid story so closely in my personal life, and you'll laugh at it. But
Ooh. So
anyways,
yeah, folks, this is gonna be a two-parter because I think wheelchair
yeah,
would
we gotta
definitely
come
have a
back to
wheelchair
this.
to break.
We gotta let Justin have a final say on part 2 and 3. I think.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can't not have him because he will
but
kick our ass.
you and I both say all valid on this. Maybe next weekend or next Wednesday we can finalize this really quick and
I
maybe go
have a
into.
feeling it's gonna be all Valley because if I remember from doing the review,
Yeah,
we
I
felt
think
the same way. Like
I
I
think
think it's
so.
gonna be 30.
But
Is definitely
what
gonna
we
be all
can
Valley.
do is we can come back, finalize this in about an hour or so, and maybe talk about some other stuff. Um, but I think we can come back to this next week. But we
Oh
definitely
yeah,
need
definitely.
Justin to
So
finish this. So
yeah, so next week we'll have part 2, guys. Really quick, check out my shameless promotion time. Check out my Daredevil Born Again part 1, part 2 reviews. Warning, there is spoilers, but that's because I can't talk about it without spoiling the shit out of some things. But very good so far.
yeah,
I'm thinking this might be on the level of Penguin was for me. I think this might be my number 1.
yes,
It's either going to be
yes.
this or Reacher. I got to be honest. And Invincible is really close too. So we got some great shows this year. My
So
TV
here's the thing.
ranking is going to be fucking tough.
You brought up the whole Disney thing. You're surprised about what Disney's done so far. I'm hoping they keep it up. There's that, and I don't know about you being the same way as I am with this.
I'm not
I
because
had this
the
part
writer
in the
did
back of my head.
Punisher.
Yeah, but
And
see,
I loved The Punisher. That was my favorite out of the Netflix, to be quite honest. But maybe it could have just been John
it was
Bernthal's
good.
performance.
It was good. It was good. I
It
liked
was
it.
good though, and you could see the writing. The writing is sharp. It's crisp.
I'm
The
just
action is
happy that
fucking
they're.
brutal.
What I'm happy is that Disney is willing to take on a continuation without a rewrite, like a full reboot. And while I did not, okay, let me see here. How do I want to put this? How do I want to put this? I didn't hate Hawkeye, but the add of Echo and
Yeah,
Kingpin.
Kingpin was not Kingpin in that.
Well,
He was, but
was
he
and
wasn't.
wasn't
Yeah,
exactly.
I can agree with you there because I do
And
like Hawk a lot more than most people.
yeah. No, I like the series.
I
But
didn't even have a problem with Echo till the last episode. That's my issue with
yeah,
the
same thing,
19.
same thing. I think Echo was kind of a bold move. Um, but I'm happy with. And again, we're not at the end yet, but I'm happy with the 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again because I feel like it's I don't know about spiritual successor,
I would go with that.
but
I'd say
it's a spiritual
I said
successor
in
to
my
the first
review.
series.
I said in my review, it to me was the perfect mix of the MCU and
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
Netflix crime saga. Some
Yeah,
of it
yeah.
is not as clean as the Netflix,
No,
like the action is not as kinetic.
no.
But let me tell you something. If y'all don't see that first 10 minutes and go, holy fuck, like what a
Yeah,
fuck. That's gotta
true.
be the best fucking opening
Well,
for a TV show I have seen in
but
years. Like they tell
I
you, we are
think the
not
plus
fucking
side.
around. We're not
I
going
think
to.
the plus side of this. I think the plus side. I guess that's kind of a tongue-in-cheek statement since it's on Disney Plus. I think the plus side of this is that Disney, when they bought the Fox, Netflix, the Marvel properties, all that stuff, Daredevil, Deadpool, these other series they've now absorbed, they're willing with, and we saw it with Deadpool, they're willing to continue down that line that Deadpool is, which was great. But with Daredevil, they didn't go and say, you know what, let's find some new actors. They got Vincent D'Onofrio back, and they got oh shit,
Charlie
now I forgot
Cox.
his name. Thank you. Yeah, they got him back, and when I saw him when I saw Charlie Cox in Spider-Man: No Way Home, I was like, oh my god, they're going to keep this guy. I was like,
I mean, to
perfect.
me, let's be real. He is Matt Murdock. Like,
He
full stop.
is. He is. But that's the key. It's like as many times as I think you and I and other people have blamed Disney for sabotaging properties. This is what's maddening. They can do it right. We've seen them do it right. We're like, how is it you can do this right,
But
but you
fuck this up.
can't do that right?
Like, and yeah, check out my review of Captain America: Brave New World. I called it a mid movie. That's exactly what it is, a middle of the road movie. It isn't
It is.
grossly offensive. It is, but it isn't as terrible as people make it out to be. It's
No, it
middle of the
isn't.
road.
Yeah.
And then
No,
you
the
follow it up
word,
with Daredevil, and I'm like,
the word for Captain America: Brave New World is it's a safe movie.
safe. Yes, very safe. Chris, I'm glad that you said that, because in my review, I was like blanking out. I'm like, I don't know what to say, guys. Like, this isn't as bad as everyone's gonna make it out to be because they hate Disney and
No.
it's cool to get on the train for clicks or
Yeah.
whatever. But it's not great either. It's like
No.
it's just like it's in the middle, and you're right. It's
It's
safe.
there.
That's what it is.
It's
It's
there.
very safe
It's
movie.
it's safe. It's there. It's
But
okay.
Daredevil,
Here it is.
like
Oh,
Daredevil, that
geez.
opening 10
That 10
minutes,
minutes you said,
I
oh,
was
yeah.
like, they let you know that. And then I would even argue the end of episode 2, where I was like, oh shit, Matt is just jumping to killing people, because you can't tell me those cops are alive. Like, they are not
No.
alive. I'm sorry, spoilers
No.
for episode 2, but I gotta say, that dude he dropped on his neck, if he's alive, he doesn't want to be alive. I'm fairly sure, like,
If he's
and this is a
alive,
natural progression
there's
from the
bubbles coming
original.
out of his mouth and he's got a feeding tube.
Oh yeah, that guy. So, if you guys watch the original Daredevil, the great thing about this show too is it really does pick up, because there's a theme in the original ones where it could be argued he doesn't kill people, but I'm pretty sure the quality of their life is not the greatest after he's dealt with them. In this one, what made episode 2 so powerful for me was because he didn't just like defend himself. When he broke that dude's arm through his fucking shirt, he could have stopped there, but he beat him to death, and then he broke that other guy's neck. So Matt just jumped from I'm gonna try to save him to, oh shit, I gotta kill these guys. Like, there was like not a, and it works for the story they're telling.
It works really well. It works
Oh yeah.
really well.
Chris,
Anyways,
just to end this, 'cause I know we both got to go. I
yeah.
think we should definitely talk about this more. Like, if you want to do a separate stream, because I've been dying to get thoughts of other people who've watched the Netflix show like me.
Yeah. I don't know when Chaos Central's doing the roundtable on it, but let's get together soon, and I'll jump on here with you, and we can talk Daredevil. Because I'll tell you what, I'm not a hater, and you're gonna kill me for this, because I have the director's cut, which is not necessarily the best, but I'm not a hater of the original Daredevil movie.
Oh no, me neither. It's beautifully cheesy.
But Netflix is, when I watched the Netflix one and when I watched this one, I'm like, this is what Daredevil should have been.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
You-
And
honestly,
Shipgasm.
honestly, I could not, I could not handle. I was a very big. Why are we watching She-Hulk? But the redeeming grace of She-Hulk was the Daredevil side of it.
Shiftgasm, I do agree with you. I'm gonna hold off on my excitement because yes, if they're following the comic, I think they are. But keep in mind too, they switched the orders because if we were going by the original Born Again run, Karen got killed and
Mhm.
Foggy lived. So they might be doing some trickery, and we do know that the actor is coming back, but I think it's not what they're making it out to be. I think they've kept it under wraps well because everything they promoted was only the first 2 episodes. The marketing team did a great job. Like they promoted the
That's a
shit
big
out of
part of
it.
this. And,
Um,
as much as you may not have liked it, how did you feel about The Mandalorian
the last season,
in general? The totality. Let's just call it
uh,
the
I think they
totality.
need to stop. Um, I have a lot of issues with the last season. However, I
Yeah.
don't think it's to sucky level.
What
And
about
I'll be honest with
the
you.
Luke moment?
I, I felt like everybody else. I was jazzed up till I saw where it went.
Okay.
Then
Okay.
it killed
Good.
that.
Good way. Good point. Good point. But I'm gonna say this. I'm impressed at how Disney's been able to keep wraps on some stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, because we all
So
did not see that moment coming,
no,
and they did a great
and
job
and the
carrying
stuff
that
that
moment
they're
back.
doing right now with this,
Oh yeah,
I'm even in Echo, I think they kept wraps on some stuff.
yeah.
So I'm impressed by that. I'm how do I put this? I am mildly optimistic
I
that
would go
Disney
cautiously
could,
optimistic myself.
yeah,
I've been
that
burned
yeah,
so many
yep,
times, but I'd say out of every project, I think I have the biggest hopes. And this is people have to remember this is not this was part of the old slate, but then this is after they started restructuring everything. And if
yep,
this is the quality we're getting, then you got to remember Brave New World was already in the pipe and done. They did
hmm
reshoots, but there wasn't much they could do to save that. So I think we're getting out of the rough stage, and I think that's why they've promoted the shit out of this. And it's kind of funny because Born Again feels like a double meaning. It feels like Born Again for the MCU and Born Again bringing
I hope.
Daredevil back. It's kind of like like,
Yes,
hey
yes,
guys, we
yeah.
fucked
A
up.
duality.
Yeah, we fucked up. We hear you. We're trying to fix shit. And the key thing is they have showrunners. And I think that's the
hmm
biggest issue you've had with
hmm
every one of these shows. You got 16 fucking writers and you
Okay,
don't have
okay.
one clear, concise vision. This
I
show
have
does.
I have a late night talks for us. Is the um I don't who got now I forgot his name. Star Wars. Not Kathleen Kennedy. The guy. David or
Dave Filoni.
yeah, Dave Filoni. So Dave Filoni the answer for Star Wars? And is hey, wait, hold on. And is Kevin Feige coming around and is the MCU going to come back around and recorrect itself? Because I don't know if Kathleen Kennedy's really going to retire like a lot of people think she might, but I think that's a good conversation to have. Is are we starting to see a correction in path?
Yeah, I think that's a good topic for late night talks because I got a lot of
Yeah,
things to say
yeah.
about both of those.
Okay.
Thank you, Chris, because I was like, I do have, I do have my feelings on that. I think that if you put them comparatively, Marvel versus Star Wars,
Mhm.
Marvel, I think you have a critically injured patient who is on life support, but they started stitching them up, and now
Mhm.
you can you can you got that 50-50 shot of bringing him out of his coma and walking around and being what he was, whereas Star
Star Wars
Wars,
is Frankenstein, and you're
like
trying to
he's
find a
dead on a
brain to make it
table
come back.
and they're doing the paddles and you get a little foot movement, but he's still dead. Like, I think, because here's the thing. The MCU at their worst, with the exception of She-Hulk Attorney at Law, because I fucking hate that show, and the
Oh my
Eternals,
god,
I
it was
fucking
so
hate that movie.
pointless.
So pointless.
Oh my god.
With the exception of like 2 or 3 things, I could still watch most of the MCU, even at its
Yes.
worst.
Yes.
Star Wars at its worst, however, oh my god. Like,
Have you watched
oh my god.
Skeleton Crew? Did you watch
Goonies in
Skeleton
space.
Crew?
Goonies in space. That's what it
That
is.
is
It's fucking
great.
Goonies in space.
Oh my god, dude. You know
God.
what? You putting it that way almost makes me like it more.
That's what. But so, okay, so here's my problem though, Chris. Not saying it's bad, but I can't watch it and say it's Star Wars. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yes, but
They-
you saying the Goonies in space, I'm like,
it's,
okay, I kind of want to watch it again, and they were like, wow, this is fun, but it's not Star Wars.
it's not
So
Star
wait,
Wars.
hold on.
It doesn't feel Star
Okay,
Wars.
okay, we can talk for hours more.
Hours on this episode. Yeah,
Let's wrap this. Let's wrap this back to another thing at another time. Anyways, I'm just gonna say, I'm Chris Knight. Real Review 3000 Chaos Central. Sometimes you can find me on Bigger for Entertainment here in the Phantom Zone. The Phantom Zone. You can find me just about anywhere. I am the original stream horror. Yeah, just I am the original Last Jedi defender. I am
the only one in the galaxy, might I add.
well, the only one. No, let me put it this way: not the only one, but I am the only one that can do it in a way that the people who hate the movie can't go against me.
A true story. No truer words have ever been spoken. And this is General Zod. Thank you, Chris. He is absolutely right. And yes, can't wait for Andor season 2. It's gonna be great. Andor is perfect Star Wars. Full stop. That's the last bastion of hope. When I talk about the life support and the toe twitching, that's Andor. God, I can't wait for. That is the only Star
I
Wars
am
thing
surprised.
I have been waiting for.
I am surprised you're on the Andor train. I love Andor.
Dude,
I
who this is what gets me, okay? So Star Wars fans are so jaded that when they get a perfect Star Wars project, they still can't accept it because they've been so burned. But
I
like
know
the
so many
ridiculous
fans.
arguments I've heard, it's beautifully shot, it's greatly
Yes,
scored,
yes,
everything makes sense. It makes Rogue One
yes,
better because like
yes,
now I know the character. I went back and
yes.
I watched Rogue One and I was like,
Well,
man, if
but
Andor
you see,
didn't exist,
a lot of people that I know hate Rogue One. They're like, "Well, it makes no sense because everybody dies." And I'm like,
watch
"But
Andor.
that's,
Then it
but
makes
what? No,
perfect sense.
no. Even then, it doesn't. I didn't need Andor because here's the thing: it's not about the characters living or dying. It's about the sacrifice they make at the end because they got to the what makes the
Thank you.
first movie so great. And
Thank you.
yes,
I agree.
Andor helps it. Andor helps it. I'm not going to disagree with that. But I am surprised. So many people are like, oh, it's so boring. I'm like, have you watched
Yeah,
any
but
of the
you
Star
watch.
Wars movies that we love?
Yeah,
Because
dude.
it
People
feels
have
like
nostalgia
Star Wars.
goggles. There's a lot of, I don't want to say it's boring, but it's storytelling, like true storytelling.
Exactly.
And
And
Andor has storytelling. It doesn't get
like,
there super quick, but when it does,
yeah,
and when you get to that
I
ending,
like, I liked, so I did like Obi-Wan. I did like Ahsoka. I
uh,
do like. Wait, okay, wait. Just really quick. I liked all that. I didn't hate the Bad Batch. I liked the Clone Wars. Um, I like a lot of the projects they do, but they feel like fluff. They feel like filler. They feel like okay, yeah, I feel Star Wars as a part of this, but I don't feel like it's a part of Star Wars like I do when I watch Andor. I feel like I'm watching Star Wars. That's something that builds into everything. I feel like when I watch everything else that they've come out with, all the extra stuff, Mandalorian, Boba Fett, Ahsoka, all those. I feel, yes, I'm watching Star Wars stuff, but it's more Star Wars fluff. It's a part of that galaxy, fine. It's a part of the mythos, great. But when I watch Andor, I'm like, I'm watching something that's building into the whole storyline that we grew up with because we know it's going to lead to Rogue One, that leads to Star Wars, which
I think
again,
it
to this
really
day,
it's great because it also it builds into these separate stories of the universe. And oh yeah, I do agree. Star Wars Visions was great too. I love anime. Myself, Shiftygasm. I'm an actual anime fan, and I'll agree with you. The animation for Visions was fucking phenomenal. I loved Visions. I thought it was very underrated.
no, Visions was great. Visions was great.
Oh yeah, and
I'm
then
sorry.
my
What were
favorite
you gonna
episode
say?
was the
What were you saying?
with Andor. It felt like to me like what Clone Wars was to say
Yes,
the original OG canon,
yes,
right? It's not
yes,
Star Wars the story. We've had that, but this will add and recontextualize what we have up here. So it's like
yes,
you don't have to watch Clone Wars, but you are missing out on all of the shitty things people say about episode 2 and 3. Well, if you watch Clone Wars, it actually makes 2 and 3 even better because now you see more of Anakin's journey. Like, wow, is he a general?
yes.
What are all the stories? Well, they
Well, I
they
was always
explain
a
it to
big
you in
fan of
Clone
the Clone
Wars.
Wars. I still have the original Clone Wars, um, the original movie they made
Oh yeah,
before the series,
the first movie, and they did the micro
the
series
two
that
hour, yeah,
talks about.
the anime micro series. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
where
yeah. Oh no,
last
beautiful,
episode lead into
beautiful.
episode 3,
Yes,
literally.
yes, yes,
So I mean, yeah, Chris, I agree with you. Like, and this is what I think people confuse about Star Wars fans. We're not saying we want the original Star Wars copy and pasted over and over again. That's not what we're
no,
saying. We're not even
no.
opposed to a continuation. Hell, when Force Awakens came out, I was jazzed up. I pushed back against a lot of people. And to an
I
extent,
don't hate the Force Awakens.
I
The
never
Force
did. And
Awakens.
I to this day don't think it's bad. I just know what comes after. Um,
See, and
and
that's where
even
you
The
and I
Last
differ.
Jedi, I could have been behind a shitty vision if they would have had the balls to complete it. Because
Thank
then,
you. That's the
like,
key right
if
there.
you're gonna go that
Yeah,
route, then fuck what people said because you already pissed them off. Just do it and let us judge it.
that was
It's
the
like they
thing.
half-ass committed, and it killed everything.
Well, and the whole thing is when episode 9 came out, and man, I watch it and I want to. There's parts of that I'm like, this looks fun, this looks good, but there's no story here. There's just
Yeah,
nothing that connects this. And the key
there's no
here,
soul, there's no effort.
exactly. And the key here is that as many times Kathleen Kennedy and uh, uh, director,
JJ,
um, thank you, J.J. Abrams, as many times as they came out and said, no, this was the plan. When you start hearing back from the original director they were going to use for episode 9, saying, no, it was never a plan to bring back Emperor Palpatine. It was never a plan to do any of this. And then when you hear, no matter what you think of, uh,
Ryan Johnson.
thank you, Jesus Christ, it's too late. No matter what you think of Ryan Johnson asked for certain things to be done. So he asked for Luke Skywalker for that scene at Act 2 to end right when she walks up to him so he could write the stuff that happened in his movie. He asked for R2D2 to be where he was at the time in that movie. He asked for a lot of stuff, and J.J. Abrams and Kathleen Kennedy were like, "Yes, make it your movie." So no matter what you think about The Last Jedi,
They
it was
approved
not
it.
the fault of Ryan Johnson. It was the fault of the vision, because the difference between the sequel trilogy and the original trilogy and the prequels is that George Lucas had in the original trilogy, he had one movie that all but encompassed the beginning, middle, and end. And he was able to expand it into those things. And then when he went to do the prequels, he's like, I can do this again. I know where I have to start and I know where I'm going to end. And he built that. And for all the things that the prequels weren't, because he was not the greatest director to do all three movies, he still got the vision across, the story across. They went into the sequel trilogy with a let's just do this. And they
Oh
didn't
yeah,
have a story. They didn't
there
have
was
a
no
story.
plan.
They didn't have a beginning and a middle and an end. If they had had a beginning, a middle, and an end, even after the third movie, even if it
Oh,
had been horrible, you could have at least said, hey, I see where they were going.
and that I think like people can't put their finger on it, but I think you're right, Chris. This is supposed to be a trilogy, but it very much doesn't feel like a trilogy. It feels like saying Fast and Furious is a series, right? But none of those movies are the same. They have the same characters, they have the same
Yes.
cars, they have the same
The
wacky
worst
bullshit
part
that could
was
never happen in our
reverting.
world, but
The, I
but
would
they're
have
not
made,
connected. You can watch
yeah,
Fast 7 and 8
yes,
and 9 and not ever watch 1, 2, and 3 and be
no.
fine. You can watch 1, 2, and 3 and never watch the other ones and be
Mm-hmm.
fine because they're not a goddamn trilogy. They're not made to go begin a middle and end.
But you
There's
can
like
watch all of them. You can watch all of them though, and it works. It works.
it
It's
works.
fine.
But we're talking about this is you came out saying this is the next trilogy, and then maybe after that gets big, we give you another one. Okay, cool, I'm down for that. But when you show me at your very first go, you don't have a plan, and goddamn, we gave him credit. Even at with Geeks and Gabers and all of us, right? Even after Last Jedi, though we were all salty, and mainly because of the fucking idiots arguing with us, which, folks, you don't understand how exhausting that was. Even I don't like it, and I got tired of the conversation. Okay, we said, all of us collectively said, when we get to the ending, let's see. Because maybe everybody has a bad movie, okay? But then you
Their
get to the end and you
problem,
go, it was a waste of time. It was a
their
goddamn waste of time.
problem is they. Okay, first off, here's the thing. I always said, and I still have the thing, and I think you've seen the background I have. It says Finn is my last Jedi.
Yep.
I would have made Finn the last. I would have made Finn the Jedi. And it's not about a woman thing. It's not about a black or different,
No, it just makes
different
sense.
background. It felt better. It not just made sense. It felt better when he picked up that freaking lightsaber at the end of A Force Awakens. It felt like, and the fact when he takes off the helmet, that the way they did the promos, the when he was freaking out and all that stuff. It was like he was awakening, and they duped us. They duped us to
And,
believe that.
and
And then
I think one of the plans was to make him a Jedi. And I even
yes,
think
yes,
and I hate to give Ryan Johnson credit, okay, but I hate the Casino Planet bullshit. It feels very
yes,
removed, but
yeah,
watching the kids with the broom doing the force.
yep,
That's the
yep,
perfect way to connect why Finn
yep,
is force sensitive because we've
yep.
established you don't have to be part of the Jedi's to have powers. It's
No, no,
midichlorians, God help us, or
exactly.
whatever the fuck you want to say.
Well, and you see, that's where I
So
blame
Finn
everything.
could have been
I
awakening.
told
Yeah,
people, I
you
tell
could have
people,
had
you
Finn.
have to blame George Lucas for the problems of the sequel trilogy because he let the midichlorians come in. You can't use midichlorians. It was the worst decision in life.
Oh
But
yeah, I
wait,
think to this
but
day he has said that. I think he's even come out and said he really wasn't happy with that route because it was better when we were working with a mystical angle.
It's
Because then you
mystic.
could just
It's
say, "Oh,
mystic.
it's just a
Who knows? Who
thing."
knows what makes you a Jedi? Who knows why you become that person?
It
Anyways,
happens. Yeah,
so
we didn't need a
the
fucking reason.
the
I didn't need
drop of
metachlorine.
episode 9, the drop of episode 9 was is that they had character building into the Last Jedi, right or wrong, however you want to put it. And then they literally acted like the Last Jedi didn't exist, and they went back to the first movie. And
Which
and,
is
and
terrible because then you don't have a middle movie. So
exactly.
if you're telling me that the middle doesn't exist, it's not a trilogy.
Well,
B,
one,
it's just a sequel. And for 2, it's that when they course corrected, they overcorrected. And I guess to
yes.
just kind of wrap things up,
Well,
because we've been
let's,
wrapping it up for an hour now.
yeah.
I think that the biggest, like, getting back to the whole what makes MCU different is that MCU still, to me, hasn't lost its way enough to where I'm like, they're dead. I think that's fucking stupid, and I hate that argument. Like, I'm a big DC fan, but even I can recognize the MCU might be, it's like a fighter. They might have gotten knocked to the ground, but they ain't
Not
down.
everything's going to be perfect. Not everything's going to be perfect. The the DCU, or whatever they're trying to do, I am very,
They're bad.
very
I'm sorry. I'm
apprehensive.
gonna
I'm
I'm
apprehensive
gonna
of
say
this new one.
Penguin was a fucking masterpiece.
It was. I am
Creature
apprehensive of this
Commandos,
new Star Wars.
Creature Commandos, fucking great. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm apprehensive of this new Superman, though. I'm
yeah,
very
that's gonna be a
apprehensive.
tough one. I'm gonna go as Lex Luthor. I think we're gonna have to talk about it. I'm shaving my head bald. You know
Okay,
I'm going as the villain.
okay.
Uh, uh,
Let's wrap this up. Let's cut
yeah,
this. Let's
but
go.
thank you
We
everybody.
have
We
lots
got
of
a
stuff to
second
talk.
conversation. We were hoping Justin was gonna wake up, but he's in a coma. He willed off to a better place. So join us next week when we do part 2 and finish our
You
list.
gave him the crane technique, didn't you?
Yeah, I told him, just there we go.
All right, man.
Thank you,
Later.
everybody, and as
Take
always,
it easy,
remember
guys.
there is only one rule
I
in the
missed
Phantom
this.
Zone:
I missed this.
before General Zod.